This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit. That is awesome.
I was talking to someone very close to Elon Musk, and this is in the first Trump administration, and they said no, they're really going to launch the Mars mission from the dark side of the moon, so it can't be looked at by a lot of our enemies, but also it's a better launch point, and also it's protecting the craft facilities from solar radiation. And they've already got 3D printers up there. They've already got a base up there for the secret space program. And that when Trump wins re-election, they're going to announce it and do it. You notice Musk suddenly said, now we're not launching from the Earth, we're launching from the dark side of the moon a month ago.
Exactly. And well, that's 6-7 years ahead. That's the kind of intel. This is part of the problem, which is we're getting the intel much, much later. And there's this gap in time. So we talked about things like the release of the UFO file. This is scheduled.
8 brilliant minds, each one inching closer to unlocking zero-point energy, plasma fusion that could render fossil fuels obsolete, or the anti-gravity secrets allegedly reverse-engineered from crashed non-human craft, have met mysterious ends or vanished without a trace. Their deaths and disappearances clustering in recent months amid rising whispers of massive revelations.
I've been 100% serious. I've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this, if they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up, you'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. This country would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard. They would demand answers. And we need to. But, you know, it's never going to get, unfortunately, it just keeps getting covered up, and the people that know are dying or disappearing, as the case may be.
Wow.
And for the record, I'm not suicidal, and I don't take risks.
This is why Congress is working hard for whistleblower protections, because we want people to feel safe to come out and have a conversation. And right now they don't feel overly safe. They've seen some of the tactics and techniques that were applied to try to keep people quiet in the past. Let me say this in general terms. People say, oh, well, the government would never kill anybody to protect a secret. Try going to Area 51 and look at the signs on that chain link fence where it says lethal force authorized. You cross that fence and they can kill you dead. Okay? So the government can, under certain extreme cases, under certain extreme situations and conditions, they can do whatever they need to do to protect national security, and they will.
But I was standing behind an alien in a spacecraft, just a small one. Okay, I asked you a question, and he said, okay. And I said, how do you get from here to Alpha Centauri? We can't do that. The only thing that we think about is I have to go really fast for a really long time. Can you use what information I have in my head and try to explain it to me? And he said, well, do you know what a Rubik's Cube is? And I said, oh yeah, my son can do them in 2 minutes. He says, okay, so imagine a Rubik's Cube, but not necessarily just the 6 sides. Just imagine the concept of a Rubik's Cube. And I said, okay. Now imagine on each one of the tiles on the Rubik's Cube has a chart of the elements. And he says, so what you do to get to Alpha Centauri is you just twist the cube. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I told you wouldn't understand. And he said, when the periodic table occurs in a different place, you're at that place. And that's just a very crude explanation. But you have to stop thinking about go that way for a long time, very fast.
Describe the very first time you were teleported.
It was scary in a way. I mean, you don't really know, okay, is this evil? Is this good? What is this? What do I do with this? How do I deal with it? I was on the phone. Oh my God, what's happening? And I was landed. And landed about 40 miles away in a ditch outside of a Baptist church in a little tiny town just where you cross over the border. And it was an incredibly frightening moment.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
So what Grush has told me, this is what blew my mind, and what he said that happened with Trump. He said that the Nordic people or the Nordic aliens are like a few hundred years more advanced than we are. But the Nordic people somewhat resemble humans, and they have been experimenting with crossbreeding with humans. And he says some of them that there are aliens that are crossbreeds living in the world.
I mean, I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that.
The fallen include MIT plasma physicist Nuno Loureiro, gunned down while on the cusp of limitless clean fusion power. Caltech astrophysicist Carl Grillmer, shot dead on his front porch after work, hinting at exoplanet life detection that overlapped with UAP sensor tech. Novartis chemical biologist Jason Thomas, found dead near a lake with DoD contracts. Retired Air Force Major General William Neal McCaslin, a Podesta emailed UFO insider with knowledge of crash retrievals and directed energy systems, who vanished on a New Mexico hike.
My name is Susan Wilkerson. My husband is missing.
Okay.
And it's been about 3 hours, and I have some indication that he must have planned not to be found. He's left his phone. He changed his clothes into I don't know what. I think he's on foot. All of our cars and bicycles are in the garage.
General McCaslin's disappearance, what do you make of it?
Well, it's suspect, of course. I know a lot of folks are pointing at the UFO things because him being at Wright-Patterson over some top secret stuff is involved in some of the nuclear stuff too. I know his wife said he didn't have anything to do with any UFO research, but generally those folks don't talk about it when they do that. They're at a pretty high level of security.
Melissa Casillas, who was believed to have security clearance for sensitive information at Los Alamos, vanished without a trace. Monica Reza and another unnamed associate who disappeared under eerily similar circumstances. NASA scientist Frank Maywald, the cause of death has never been made public, and officials confirmed that an autopsy was never performed. Maywald had been a prominent researcher at the space agency's Jet Propulsion Laboratory since 1999 and worked on multiple projects tied to advanced satellite technology that could scan Earth and other planets. And Anthony Chavez, a former employee at Los Alamos until his retirement in 2017, vanished without a trace on May 4th, 2025, just 7 weeks before a key assistant at the same lab disappeared, bringing the total number of unexplained incidents to at least 8 since July 2024. As Congressman Tim Burchett and independent voices raise alarms over this body count, merely ask yourself, who profits from keeping humanity chained to oil barons and petroleum pipelines while the stars beckon with free energy from the vacuum itself? The pattern is too precise, the timing is too convenient, and the stakes, the deep state doesn't just hide the truth, it makes it disappear. John Bound reporting for InfoWars.
All right, here we are. Welcome to the show. It's April 3rd, 2026, Friday night live, and we'll be joined shortly. Our guest will be here shortly, but until then, we're going to cover this. Now, if you don't know what's going on, I'm going to do my best to break it down what little bit that I know. I mean, obviously, if you're not read in on this stuff, all that you know is assumption, because this whole thing right here, this free energy, UAP, high level, what we used to call them unidentified or alien force or whatever they used to call it back when I was a kid, is now literally coming out in the mainstream media. And the thing about it is, we don't know if we're getting a bunch of bullshit and they're covering up what really is going on, or if the cat's out of the bag and they're starting to release it so that the people aren't completely, absolutely freaked out when they find out that there's alien beings living among us, whether they're U.S. citizens or they're cloned in with Americans, and because you heard what they were saying. Gates was talking about literally being read in when he was congressman about breeding alien force with Americans, or with humans, I guess you would say. And I listened to about 2 hours of Dark Journalists today going over this and really getting into it about all the different forces of all the different things that's going on, and how well, if you remember, about it must have been a month ago, Obama pulls up out of nowhere. He come out from under his rock to talk about aliens or unidentified forces or whatever it was. That I don't remember exact quote. At the time, I just thought it was some more of their propaganda. And it may be propaganda. Actually, we don't know for sure if it's propaganda or not. What we do know for sure, is that it's all of a sudden hit the surface. And right after Obama said something about it, they're not, the aliens aren't at Area 51. And then Trump was on Air Force One or something like that. He was on his plane and he was like, "Oh yeah, I heard Obama said something. I'm going to have to release everything to bail him out from him breaking, basically, breaking, classified information to the public." And there's been a lot of talk about this over the last couple of years, and then more and more people are coming out, and Rogan's having people on, different things like that. And the thing that is very, very interesting to me is, out of nowhere, all of a sudden, we have multi-pronged situations going on simultaneously, all at the same time. And it's completely the exact opposite of what we expected in 2026. Whether it's the Charlie Kirk murder, the Epstein files, the Iran war, the way that TPUSA has really went against what Charlie Kirk was about, all the different things. It all seems like some demonic force that's kind of taken over in a lot of areas of the world. And it seems like, because we've talked about this, and I don't want to bore you with a bunch of mystical stuff, but if you remember, we've talked about this not being red and blue, Republican, Democrat, but yet it's like a God against devil, or evil against good, or demonic forces against common sense people. And this is all over the world. I mean, when you look at some of these different globalist leaders, they're calling them leaders, and how they operate, and what they look like when they're just holding a conversation, and the glow in their eyes, you can totally tell that they're possessed by something, whether it's just Satan, or whether or not you believe in that whole thing is completely up to you. But for me, I have to remind myself that we have evil, demonic forces constantly battling with the good spirit within us. And I know this is not a Christian or religious or anything kind of a podcast. It's a political podcast. But when you think about what we're talking about here, it's all the same. That's why the thumbnail says it's all the same. It's all together. One thing goes with the other thing that goes with the other thing that goes with the other thing. It's all connected. All of it. It's all connected. Whether you want to talk about Trump switching up on the American people, or really, when you think about it, switching up on the world, everybody but Israel, or you want to talk about how we know now, I'm sure at some point we're going to get in trouble right here in this show for talking about this, but you got to just tell the truth, right? Epstein, we know Epstein's alive. We know that the whole thing was rouge. We know it's all staging. We know it's all, cast, what do they call it? Cast acting. We know all this is all smoke and mirrors. We know it's all about, the sleight of the hand. We know this. We know that all of this is a show. It's not real. I mean, it is. It's totally real. I mean, they really raised the crude oil prices from $60 or $50 a barrel to 125 like fast, which cost us double to do anything, right? Because everything costs more, the whole thing. But let's just look at this for a minute, if we can, just for a second. Let's just look at what we've seen in the last 5 years, 6. We just use 5 years. We'll use from 2020, from January 2020. We don't even have to go before that. We could go back to 19 when the whole COVID thing happened and all the demonic stuff that happened then, and on to now. But really, let's just use 2020 as an example. All the rioting and all the fake propaganda, and how they continued to tell us that it was, boys were girls and girls were boys, or, it was perfectly okay to have, some cross-dresser in a school library with kids on their laps reading them books about how to change your gender. Completely normal. It's demonic. It's completely demonic. Or look what Biden did. Like, maybe he was there for, and I mean, my conspiracy theory gets going really, really well when we start talking about Joe Biden, okay? Or, because the truth is, there was a time that it seemed like it was Joe Biden, and then all of a sudden it looked like a different person. Maybe I'm the only one, man. I'm just a conspiracy theorist. I probably am the only one that believes that Joe Biden was not the one that had maybe 4 press conferences in 4 years. Maybe I'm just a conspiracy theorist. But if I'm not, let's just use it as an example of how he looked and how he operated and everything that happened within his administration. Like, we had a cabinet member stealing luggage while wearing somebody's dresses, dressing up like a girl on national TV while giving a press conference. I mean, it's demonic any way you look at it. Maybe this isn't the show for you, but I'm just giving it to you the way I seen it. It's what woke me up. It's the exact thing that made me realize that I was not, how do I say it? I was asleep. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't care. And once I seen what was going on, it was like a fire got put up under my ass, and immediately I got into action because I just could not believe what had happened to the country that I believe in, that I grew up in, that I, American flag, patriotism, liberty, you know, all the things that when I was a kid, we were taught that kind of as I probably got out of high school, went on to doing other things, they started taking God out of you know, probably the 80s or 90s. They started taking God out of schools and classrooms, and it took a shift. And I didn't even know. I had a girl in school, and I had no idea what they were doing to the culture of the school system. I had no idea. I didn't know until my wife one day, she had been a teacher for 5 years or something. And I had a kid in grammar school, one kid off, you know, she got out of school already, you know, and she was off living her life. Maybe she was 20 or something. But I had a kid that was in maybe fifth or sixth grade, and my wife was a teacher, and she would come home and tell me about some of the things that she experienced and how hard it was to be in a school system where they were literally teaching propaganda to kids. It's demonic. It's demonic. It's all demonic. And so here we are, you know, without going down the rabbit hole about all the different things that happened just from 2020 to 2026. And we thought, or I thought, that there was a reprieve in 2025 when Trump got into office and he was like hammered down and he was really getting stuff done. He was making change and he was getting shit handled. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like, where did our president go? Like, this isn't the person that I voted for. And maybe it was the whole time, you know, maybe I should say it right now. I wrote it down. I was wrong. Maybe I was just wrong. And the whole time Trump was pulling the wool over my eyes, just like he pulled the wool over everybody else's eyes. Or maybe something happened between 2025 when Elon Musk was removed from the White House after getting in a fist fight with Bassett. That's what happened. Insider told me that. To now, like whatever happened in that time, I don't know if it was because he got read in on like the truth about what happens to presidents that don't go along with the narrative, or I don't know. I don't know. I have all kinds of theories in my head about what really it is. I have a lot of theory, and what I'm looking for right now is a way to find the truth in what it really is, because there's a lot of good things that Trump has done, but he just fired a bunch of generals, like 4-star generals, like just fired him. And I don't know if it's because they were telling him that this Iran war isn't going to work, so you're out of here, or maybe they were the ones that was telling him that this war would work and he found out that it wouldn't. I don't know. And I'm sure we'll find out one way or another. We have enough insiders from the alternative media to let us know the truth about what's going on. At some point, it might take a while for the leaves to hit the ground, but we usually find out what's going on if you pay close enough attention. And it just scares me because, you know, when you think about it, if I don't know what's crude oil at right now. Let's see, where is crude oil at? Crude oil 112. It's it's almost as high as it's been. It's 112 right now on well, I guess it opened today at 98, 92, and now it's 1206, 112.06. So, you know, we're looking at, and this is still winter prices, by the way. We haven't even got to where they jack the prices up for summertime. So what 140, 150, 160, and this is all because of why? Why? Because Israel said that it was a great idea to make sure that, you know, that we protect them. I mean, if you can tell me that there's a real reason why we went to war, I mean, hold on. All the warmongers will tell you, and all the, the Israelites and all the people that are, all day war, and Netanyahu's the best, and Mark Levin, and, and Sean Hannity and Bongino and all those clowns, Cash Patel. I mean, they're all in the same group, but bunch of dipshits. Just saying my piece right here. They'll tell you that we had to do this because Iran was going to kill us all. And I believe that. I believe that, hey, that there are terrorists that come out of that country, all those Middle Eastern countries that have it in their heart to kill Americans. Whether it's for a reason or not, it's debatable. I mean, for whatever reason, we know that there's sleeper cells. We know all that. We've covered it here. We've talked about it. But when Joe Kent tells us that there was no immediate threat with Iran, I believe him. And you don't have to believe him, but I believe him because I take people on their word, and I seen the look in his eyes when he was talking. I watched, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 interviews. The first one was with Tucker, and I watched it twice actually, because I pulled some clips from it. But really, really taking a look at like what his body language is and how he's talking to, and how he's being, and how he wasn't being sarcastic or matter of fact. He was just straight, clear, to the point, and he never, not one time, said anything derogatory toward really anybody in the administration. But he understood that they're going to come after him because of his stand, because he had to stand on integrity and morals, right? You stand for something, or you'll fall for anything. And that's really where we all should be. We should all stand on that principle, and it's just unfortunate that we don't. So anyway, we got one hell of a show for you tonight. As you can tell, I'm kind of on a roll tonight. I got a lot in my mind. I got some stuff tonight that we're going to get to toward the end of the show that is unsettling for me. And I don't know. I'm going to say this is for entertainment purposes only, but I'm going to say that I am definitely leaning toward, it's something. It's for sure something. I mean, I want to believe that most of it is pretty spot on. I want to say that I don't think Trump. I don't want to throw Trump out with the bathwater, but the water should have stink right now. And if it was, if there may be no way out is the theory that I'm coming up with right now. There may be no way out of this, and that is very dangerous for our children. Because I've lived a great life, I've lived a pretty good life, and if this was it, right? But my children, I have children that are young, that haven't even lived their life yet. They don't even, yeah. So that bothers me. It bothers me that AI is taking over the world. It bothers me that the globalists are trying to take away all of our money, and want us to be usurps and all that stuff. All that stuff bothers me. That they want to send my 17-year-old kid to go fight in a war that's not ours. That we've made ours. We've made every war ours because of the money that's involved with wars, right? So anyway, I hope I didn't bore you too much with that, but that's what's on my mind about that one little topic from 2020 to 2026. I've seen complete devastation of America, and it'd been going on before that. We started this show in January 2021, so just a little over 5 years ago. And it started off that I wanted to hear what other people had to say, and it turned into every article I read and every interview that I did and everything. It just got more. It got to at some point I started to get anxiety about it because it was so bad. I mean, because there's so much information that I had no idea about. Like, you're telling me that our government tried to kill us and nobody's talking about it. But if you did talk about it, they would nuke you on internet. They would take you off of platforms and all that stuff. I mean, literally poisoning people. And it was okay. That was fine. No problem. We just, I mean, just that one thing. And I'm not saying that they legitimately came to my house and said, "Here, take this tablet." That's not what I mean. What I mean is they did not test the stuff they were putting in people's bodies before they forced them to take these things that would cause people to have, heart problems or cancer or and we've done enough shows on that. That's why I got demonetized from all the channels in the past because they don't like it when we talk about that stuff. They still kind of frown on it, but I don't really give a shit at this point. If I'll stand because I have to stand. Anymore I have to stand because I can't sit by and watch any of this stuff happen, whether it's Trump going against the people or them killing Charlie Kirk and them not doing anything about it, blaming it on somebody else or Epstein files, and people are legitimately standing right next to Trump, smiling about it when he's talking about why are you talking about the Epstein files? Are we still talking about that? I mean, it's just not. It's just it wasn't on my bingo card. None of this stuff was on my bingo card when I voted for Trump. It just wasn't. So anyway, let's get into some stuff. Let's see what we're gonna do tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Hegseth firing, I don't know, a bunch of generals. I mean, he fired a whole bunch of people today, last couple of days. We're going to talk about this interview with VFT and Gary from Paramount Tactical. They had a little scuff up. It wasn't serious or anything, but one dude, in my opinion, I'll just say what my opinion is. And this is all my opinion. It's merely an opinion. Everybody's allowed to have an opinion pretty much. And what I seen was Gary. I've seen this the whole time since Charlie Kirk was killed, that has a narrative that he's pushing where VFT, Bahala, VFT from YouTube, Nate, was like, there's no way that a 30-06 killed Charlie Kirk. We've done every kind of ballistic test known to man, every kind of powder, every kind of load, every kind of, all of it. And it's impossible. And Paramount Tactical is like, oh no, it's possible. It's possible. It's like 1 in 72 billion chance, but it's possible. And he's pushing the narrative like when you turn on Fox News and listen to them. That's what it sounded like to me. And but there were Nate was respectable and he didn't get into it with him. He didn't tell him how stupid he sounded when he sounded so stupid, because the truth is it's impossible to get shot from any distance with 30-06 and in the neck and not blow your head off. And by the way, I'm at the strong belief, and I'm going to show you tonight, that Charlie was shot behind the head, behind the ear, and this is an exit wound. I've said that it was an exit wound from the very, 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 very beginning. I said that's an exit wound, and that's why they were looking for the shell on the ground. And I'm giving it away right now, but that's why they were looking for the bullet after the shooting, and then the next day or Sunday they paved over it I want that to sink in. The college paved over, hey, John, the college paved over the area where Charlie Kirk was killed like 2 days after he was shot. Okay, 2 days after. So when I say to you that there's a lot going on here, a lot going on there, that whole thing tells me that if you're not paying attention to what's going on, you might miss it. So when I say that he was shot from behind the ear, and I covered it last week, and it came out his neck in the front, and then he got shot also in the chest. I showed you last week about that one. I'm glad I didn't show you who actually. Okay, I'm glad I didn't show you the other part, because after doing some more research, I found out that he wasn't shot from the building, but he was shot from one of the only. Remember the word Duncan? Duncan Aviation, we're going to talk about later on tonight. Just keep that in your mind. That's what we're going to be talking about, and how Charlie Kirk was shot from a drone from the sky. That there was drones all over the place, and if you've seen any of the internet pictures, there was drones. And I'm going to break it all down to you tonight. I've done a deep dive into it, and I was very skeptical because I've heard so many different stories. It wasn't a mic that blew up and all that stuff. Can't find it. I've looked, I've dug in forever to try and make that theory work with what Ryan Mata was saying, and I just can't make it. It just doesn't fit. The only thing that does fit is the trajectory from here, exit wound here, and then a bullet in the chest. And I'll show you where he got shot in the chest also from, the palm gun. One of the guys on the security team shot him from a palm pistol, and it's really clear when you look at it. And this dude that I ran into has really broken it down for us. We're going to get into it a little bit later, but I want to invite John onto the show. Thanks for being here.
No, thank you,
my brother.
Yep.
Bring you in. Your camera's a little low. You need to bring it up a little the other way. There you go. Good job.
Thank you for having me, man.
Came in, knocked the camera off the tripod. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
So we covered. We're covering the. We started with the energy, or the energy free. What is it called? Our brain goes that fast. It's called alien force, alien being, and I didn't really get into the part about the missing general, or the laboratory person, or
we had talked about that a couple weeks back.
We did. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. What happened is I got off on a jag about 2020 to 2026 and all the stuff that happened. And I just kind of got off in the weeds about like what I found out about since 2020 and how I was freaked out. So anyway, because I wanted to do that. I've been wanting to do that anyway. And I was waiting for you to get here.
Yeah.
So, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Happy Good Friday, everybody.
Yeah.
I apologize for being late.
That's
but
good. It's good.
Jesus Christ, I got to pay my dues to him. You know what I mean? So it was good. It was good, and ran a little late, but I'm here and I'm ready to talk rock and roll.
What was you doing? Where'd you go? Good Friday or something?
Good Friday.
That's good.
Celebration.
That's good. That's great.
Yep.
Got to do it, man.
Got to
do it.
You got to have faith in something, because everything else is falling to shit right now. So good stuff. So, but I apologize for being late. Everybody.
No, you don't have to. I knew you did. So, I haven't shared this yet. But I remember last week. I'm like, I want to play that 10-minute. That, and I was like, nah, there's not enough time. So I paused. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, then I found out. Then he did some more work with it, and I just kept watching this guy break it down. He was like, "Oh my
with the
fucking
Charlie Kirk,
yeah." He's like, "Oh my god, that dude,"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh wow, check this out."
Yeah.
And then he started looking into it, and then he found out that Duncan Aviation and Provo and Epstein and all of it. It just all is one big fucking conglomerate of a bunch of fucking people, and that all of it is connected. And the only thing that kind of tripped me out about it, we're going to get into it later here shortly. We're going to cover some of this other stuff, but one of the things that kind of got me off guard was he was saying that Trump was in on it. And I don't know if that is because some people just automatically assume that Trump is brilliant. And I don't think he's as smart as people think. I think he's smart business on one level, but I think that he's got such big blinders that he's like the horse. You can only go where he's directed. And but hey,
and that is
I'm
being
open.
shown more and more as of
But
late.
I am open. If it's true, I'm not being led around by my fucking ear. If it's true, it's true. But we're gonna keep digging and digging and digging. And I've been through. I've been in here since 10 a.m.
Oh,
I went out
deep dive.
I went out a couple times. I had to do the patio for tomorrow, and I had to do a couple things. So I went out for a couple hours, but yeah, I've been in here digging, because and I narrowed it down. And I want to say this to everybody. I know that you're probably like, dude, this dude we started off with an hour and then 2 hours and 4 hours and 3 hours, and you know what I mean. And we're gonna do our best to condense it down to a couple hours and not get 3.5 hours. Those are long nights, and it'd be one thing if I just did one show a week, but since I'm doing 4 or 5 a week, we're gonna not do such long shows. And because some people like the long shows and other people's like, that's too long, I can't watch it. So I kind of want to meet people in the middle. But anyway, so did you watch VFT and Gary from Paramount Tactical?
No.
So he so there. Let me. I want to get the right one though. Hold on a second. We'll do this. We're gonna do it live.
Okay.
I have to find it. It's probably buried, but I'll find it in a second. They had they had when the bullet fragment came back. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, it wasn't the same thing out
They
of the
said
gun.
that it's inconclusive to the 30-06, which I could have told you that with
it
my
didn't
hands
match.
tied behind my back with a blindfold on with something shoved up my ass. I could have told you that because it's impossible to get shot by a 30-06 and your head's still on your shoulders.
Dude, that's for big game.
And so, well, I mean, 30-06.
Well, but
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I mean, it rips rips shit.
It rips a hole in you. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there was a hole, but his head was still.
It was, and then so anyway, so they're like, they're having this debate. It was a short one. They were on there for like an hour. They're having a short hour debate, and the debate was basically that Paramount. His name's Gary. I can't think of his last name. I'll find it here in a minute. Was saying that that I'm from Fox News and everything I say is just like Fox News. That's what it said. Every word come out of his mouth sounded like that. It sounded like it was scripted. He's being paid by, that's what it sounded like. I mean, I'm just being honest. That's what it sounded like. It sounded like a pre-recorded fucking Fed slop,
like Bongino and Cash.
It sounded
when they
like
said he killed
just
himself.
Slop.
There's no proof.
And I'm like, this motherfucker. But Nate from VFT Valhalla, he didn't get worked up or nothing. He was just like boom, 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 boom. And then he just let him fucking talk shit, whatever he's doing. And then he would come in, he'd give some more details. Like, I don't know, because I got this and that. And they done the ballistics. And Paramount Tactical has like a gun thing. They do this thing. But like VFT, they went out there with those different ballistic gels and shot all kinds of different ammo at the ballistic gel to see what would happen. And 30-06, even with like a super low grain, as low as you could go grain, it still ripped it in half. It went through all this meat, all this stuff. Anyway, point is, they had that. It was yesterday, so I'm gonna pull it up here. The thing about when you're looking for something on Alex's thing, it's buried because they just all day long they just keep putting clips out.
Yep.
And I'm sure.
So what you
I
thought
could
you
go-
saw was 16 hours of footage that's been dropped on.
No. What they do is they just restream. They just keep restreaming stuff, which is great, but it's not when you're trying to find something. Let's see. I found it, so I know where it's at now. So
What just blows me away, man. Nobody, the desire to find the real killer. They just putting it on this dude, and that's it. No guesswork, no anything.
Well, and that's the other thing that came out. There's a couple things that are really, really shining right now. The other one, but we're not covering it tonight. I'll probably cover some of it tomorrow if I can get out here. I should be fine. I think tomorrow night I should be fine. We have 11 o'clock dinner. I should be done in time. It'll probably be a 9 o'clock show, but I'll do a show tomorrow night, probably like that. But the pipe bomb.
Oh, dude, I was just thinking that cat that they're blaming.
Impossible,
bro. There's no way. There's no way, and that's what I'm saying with this guy. Shit doesn't match up, and you're just, we're all a bunch of dummies. Yeah, that pipe bomber. It's that. I think
So here's a good one for you, and I'll pull some stuff and for tomorrow. But the person that put the pipe bombs in, so Steve just left the Blaze, and so he's on. He left the Blaze because of, and we should be talking about the stuff that we come here, but we'll just cover this for a second. Steve Baker worked for the Blaze. He's the one that put the story out that the CIA ex-cop, Capitol Police.
That person walked just like you can't make shit up.
But
when somebody walks like that, they walk like that.
You remember what I told you about that? Is what they said was that they had to file. They put an NDA on him, so he couldn't talk about it. They basically put a gag order on him on Steve Baker.
Yeah,
and he was like, finally, I'm going to do an interview. You have no choice but to fire me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they fired him. Okay. And then he's doing interviews because it just doesn't make sense to do that to a punk ass kid, autistic kid that does, he's like delivering food to people's houses, and they hemmed him up for this murder or the potential pipe bomb. That's capital.
No, they're going to be putting him away.
It's just fucked up.
Yeah,
the whole
it
thing
is.
Anyway.
It is. It's just like, dude, come on.
So,
and I'll say it, allegedly, the cop who got is allegedly, but allegedly the walk is the same. My eyes don't lie to me, dude.
Right. Can you have me
yeah. Yep.
Let me pull this. Let me pull this. Let me get back to this right screen here. Okay, I found that. Where's it at? It's right there, so I can get back to it. Okay. Do this. Let me pull. Okay, we're there. We're good. We're good. Let's get through some of this stuff before we. Charlie Kirk's right after that. I want to do Bongino or not? Or Bondi. Bondi got fired.
Yes, she did.
Bondi got fired. They're talking about firing Gabber, which is a fucking dumbest thing. Like, out of
I heard
all
what
the
their plan
people-
might be, though, bro.
Huh?
I heard what their plan might be.
Let's have it. Go ahead.
So she's supposed to get taken out of the DNI position, right?
Okay.
So they're going to be what they're talking about.
This better be good.
Well, they're talking about the Republicans being with Marco, or
what?
Marco, Mr. Rubio,
For what?
for the 2028.
Oh, they're way out there.
Oh, they're already way out there, bro. Because come November,
I won't vote for him.
oh, me neither. But then they're trying to get rid of her so she can run as he'll be the common sense kind of Republican to bring it back in. And she'll be, hey, who brought it? Was Tim Pool that I saw it on. And it made sense because they're fucking, she'll be brought back in as a Democrat. She did her duty as a Republican and served with dignity and everything. But she's being true to her shit. You know what I mean?
I doubt it. I mean, I'm not discrediting that, but when Tim Pool talks, I don't listen. He's an idiot. But anyway, just for the record, he's a fucking he's another Bongino.
Oh yeah.
But what they're doing is they fired Bondi, fired Cash Patel. It's not official.
Oh really?
Yeah,
That's
it's not
that one I
official,
haven't heard.
But they put Blanche in as an
Yeah, I know.
interim.
Yeah.
And he's worse than all of them. I got a
yeah.
couple clips on him.
Yeah.
He's worse than all of them.
He's a punk.
He's the one that fucking killed all those investigations and all that stuff. He's a turd.
Yep.
The only thing that they could be doing is putting the AG from Minnesota,
Texas.
Minnesota.
Really?
What's his name? Shit.
Because I was hearing the other thing was the AG of Texas who's running with Corin? I don't know.
You talking about Ken Paxton? Paxton's
He's another
I
name.
think he's trying to be the governor.
Senator.
Senator.
But see, if they did it, if they pulled him, then that would go out with some dignity, that fight, because that fight's really going at it in Texas. Because Cornell's who he's taking on for senator.
Cornyn,
Yeah.
I just had it up. I was reading it when I was doing this. Okay, so Bondi out.
Mm-hmm. Man, she
Lee
flubbed,
Zeldin
dude. She
for
was
EPA.
yeah.
These are there's like a bunch of them. Ron DeSantis, Andrew Bailey of Missouri. He's the one that should get. He's probably the most common sense one. Eric Schmidt, Missouri, also.
Who else
Ashley Moon,
got
Florida.
kicked out?
Leah,
Who else? Oh, the Homeland Security.
Can't.
No.
Kristi Noem.
Kristi Noem got out, and they put in the guy. I think he was from Oklahoma or Arkansas.
Who did they put in there?
Mullen or something.
Yeah, Mullen. He's a fucking
Yeah.
idiot. So Ted Cruz.
Ooh.
That would be horrible. He's
Yeah.
He's a globalist. But, but hold on. Let me find it. The one I was thinking about. So Ken Paxton. He's waiting to be confirmed as the Attorney General for Texas.
Yep.
Jeff Clark, former Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. He would be great.
So what did Bondi say? Has she said anything? Because I heard something about Trump's True Social post saying, "Oh, she was great." Blah 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 blah.
Oh, they got a whole bunch of people that they're putting up for this. This is fucking ridiculous. They should give it to but this is the problem. And we're going to get into it right now. So this is the problem. Everything that Trump is doing is based on what Susie Wiles says, and she is fucking horrible. Pam Bondi and Susie Wiles came from the same organization together, and it's a globalist organization. I can't remember what it's called. And with Cash Patel out, they'll probably put that one dude that they brought from Missouri, probably put him in there as the FBI, because they brought remember when Bongino went out, or when Bongino was going to quit, they brought that guy from Missouri, that one I was just telling you about.
Yeah.
I think it's Missouri. But what they need is they need somebody in there that knows how to operate the FBI, because what has Cash Patel's,
God, that's got to be like the smallest term of an FBI guy.
well, I mean, Bongino was 9 months.
Well, but Bongino was he's the knockoff. He wasn't the tip.
Yeah, but he's
Cash
not
is
out. They haven't confirmed it yet. They haven't said that he was out yet. But let's do a couple of these, and then we'll get to a couple of these that's right here. And just stand by and remind me about the VFT.
Yep.
I have it on here. I was going to do it
all right.
pretty soon. Pete Hegseth. Where is it? That's not the right one. Hold on a second. Let me get the right one, because that one goes with the Charlie Kirk one. So hold on a second. Where'd it go? Oh, right here. Fired General Randy George mid-Iran war. I guess we're going to get into this then. So I want to do all the stuff for Charlie Kirk together. I got it kind of spread out. I don't know why I did that, but because I got it mixed up. So bump. Okay, we'll start right here. So we'll start here and we'll go through it. Pam Bondi. That Trump suspected that Pam Bondi may have tipped off Eric Swalwell about the FBI investigation with Fang Fang. That's the narrative, that why Trump got rid of her, not because of all the shit that she didn't do, but this is the thing. When we start talking about Pam Bondi and the Epstein files and Pam Bondi and all these different things, like she was supposed to fix gun rights and all these different things, and I don't know what happened, but she had everything in motion, and then when the government closed down last year, everything stopped and nothing got picked up. I know people that are advocates for the gun rights in California, and top people, and they're like, nothing's moved since the government came back on. And it's usually 90 days to 6 months, and then everything starts moving again.
Yeah.
Nothing's moved for gun rights, all these different things. And it's because of DC, because it's her job to keep it moving.
She's a fucking flub.
So
man.
let's start. We'll start right here.
She got the job, I think, because she was on his first
yeah, she was
team.
It
was hey, you did me right. And he's a loyalist. He's and that's what's fucking killing him. It really is. It is. It's like, dude, she wasn't that great.
He likes pretty faces, though.
Yeah, but good riddance. She's not that iron in my house.
All right, we're going to play these two together. Stand by.
Firing of Attorney General Pam Bondi, the decision coming directly from President Trump himself. And according to reports, it happened fast. Sources telling Fox News that Trump met with Bondi in the Oval Office just before his speech last night. And by the time he walked out to the podium, she was already out of a job and on her way back to Florida. For now, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche is expected to step in as acting Attorney General. But behind this shakeup, there is a much bigger story, maybe even a couple of them. Bondi has been under heavy criticism for how the Justice Department handled documents connected to Jeffrey Epstein and that investigation. Remember when she handed out empty binders to conservative influencers called Epstein Files Phase 1? It wasn't. So why did this all happen now? Well, according to reports online, Trump actually grew suspicious that Bondi may have tipped off Congressman Eric Swalwell about FBI documents linked to his past connections with an alleged Chinese spy who worked for him and with whom he reportedly had an affair. Remember, she was gone by the name Feng Feng. Well, those files are expected to be released, but Bondi is said to have stepped in, tipped him off, and possibly had a close personal relationship with Swalwell. Now, this is not confirmed, but considering her past actions of covering up the truth, it certainly makes you think. In a year of being the Attorney General, Pam Bondi will, without question, be most famously remembered for the Dow is above 50,000 while being questioned about Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the White House has not confirmed exactly why she's out, but sources say Trump had grown increasingly frustrated with Bondi, not just over Epstein, but over a lack of prosecutions targeting his political opponents. The acting Attorney General now is Todd Blanche, but that presents its own set of concerns. According to AF Post, according to multiple current Trump administration officials, Todd Blanche has himself been the main roadblock holding up prosecutions of former Biden officials, state-level politicians, and members of Antifa. Todd Blanche personally shut down the DOJ's weaponization task force, and he is responsible for sidelining Ed Martin. Remember him? He was the guy who was going to lead the investigations into the J6 committee. Blanche reportedly sees himself as a principled conservative and views investigations of Trump enemies like Jack Smith as an abuse of power. He has privately told staff that he will not stoop to that level, his words. And while Blanche is only, for now, temporarily in the role of AG, we should not expect to see a drastically different Attorney General's office under his leadership.
Right. And
he's part of the swamp.
That's horrible. I mean, it's horrible. I love the comments in the thread. These people are lost their mind. Yeah, hold on.
Bet you didn't see this.
Well, guys, we just got emergency orders. I guess I'm going to fucking Iran. So that's a thing. I guess they're canceling the whole fucking training rotation so that they can fucking emergency send our asses to go fight in the war. Nice knowing you guys. It's your dude, Jordo.
Meanwhile, Israel is currently invading Lebanon as we speak, as many of us have said they would, and many people said, no, they won't. They are. This meme is starting to become a lot more relevant, isn't it? Not to mention all the people that Hegseth has fired in the last few days. It's probably nothing, though. What do they know about war? What do they know about going to war with Iran? They're probably just traitors. That's why they're all getting fired, of course. Someone warned against this. Someone actually talked about this a long time ago. You know who that was?
I have made it clear to the Israeli leadership that I do not support their expansionist ideas. The indigenous people of that land have rights that cannot be ignored. We must find a fair solution, not one dictated by any single group.
Yeah. And what happened to him? But why is this all happening? Well, it's the reason that we've all been saying it's happening, and it has everything to do with the Epstein files. As much as people want to say it doesn't, and as much as people want to say, oh, that's just too easy, or no, that's just a conspiracy. It's really not, though, because in addition to this, in case you didn't see, Pam Bondi was fired. And who's replacing her? Oh, it's this guy.
It is not a crime to party with Mr. Epstein. And so as horrible as it's not a crime to email with Mr. Epstein. And some of these men may have done horrible things. And if we have evidence that allows us to prosecute them, you better believe we will. But it's also the kind of thing that the American people need to understand, that it isn't a crime to party with Mr. Epstein. It isn't a crime to
And it looks like that's all that was going on in some of those photos.
Unfortunately, photos can't speak. And so we need witnesses. And we
Are there
need
videotapes that you all have? Or?
No, there's more.
If we had information, we meaning the Department of Justice, about men who abused women, we would prosecute them.
Yeah, but see, they had the evidence. And what did they do with it?
Any depiction of CSAM or child pornography was obviously excluded. Anything that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. And finally, anything that depicts or contain images of death, physical abuse, or injury, also not produced.
And the same guy that seems to be covering up for all of this, he's saying that this was not an intelligence operation and that Epstein was not spying or working on behalf of any intelligence agency.
Who was Epstein spying for? Look, everything. I don't know that he was spying for anybody. Nobody's ever said that. No? You don't think he might have been a spy for a foreign country? I have no idea if he was a spy. All I know is that we don't have any evidence in the Epstein files that the FBI collected over 15 years that suggests that, Jesse.
Yeah, this guy is the new AG. Sure seems like we're absolutely boots on the ground again for Israel. And the reason why is really simple, because everything that's in the Epstein files and the fact that Israel is absolutely using it as blackmail. But hey, I'm just a conspiracy theorist.
I tell you what, Blanche, give me a call. I'll send you 10 documents right now that I have. I can pull them up right now for you, showing that Epstein was a fucking exactly that, a spy, he was like the guy at the downtown New York. When he opened up his trench coat, he has he'd sell you anything, guns and dope, and he was an all around. He was not just doing pedophilia; he was doing everything from money laundering to killing people. So, and setting up murders and doing all. He did all that stuff. We have the proof. He was definitely part of the intel agency, and he was not Mossad. He was above Mossad. He worked for the Rothschilds. We can prove it. We know. We've seen it. We got the documents. If the FBI or Todd Blanche or whoever the hell's in charge of that doesn't know that, they haven't even looked at the files, because I'm computer illiterate, and I found them. You know what I mean? So absolutely, fucking.
No, it's scary.
That dude's an idiot.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Who? It's another homie hookup, because he was fucking on the fucking.
He was Trump's lawyer.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
It's another homie hookup.
Yeah.
And he's gonna get fucked. I'm so tired. I mean, after being fucked so many times by these people, wouldn't he? I mean, that's what makes me think he's not a very smart man. He's not street smart. He's business smart, yes. Street smart, he's not.
You know, I'm starting to believe that there's
The homie
more
hookups
to
are
it
fucking
than
him.
that. I think that Trump is reached a point in his life where he is either it's because he's overworked, like he doesn't sleep, dementia or something, because the stuff that's coming out of his mouth right now is either compromised, which I don't want to believe that, or he's straight up just gone. His brain's just smoked because of the things that he's doing. Like, maybe, and I said this earlier, maybe the reason why he fired those generals was because they were the ones that told him that he should go into Iran. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not a fly on the wall. I don't know. It'll come out in the next week or so what happened with that. Normally it takes a few days for things to settle before we find out what is really going on. If, because sometimes intel is not allowed to let that stuff out, but most of the time we find out those things. I mean, but let's keep going. Let's listen to what let's hear what Schroyer has to say about this Bondi thing. We got we're doing Bondi right now, and hey, you know what? I don't want to send my fucking kid to Iran.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't
I don't give a fuck.
Every
about
fucking
Iran. I don't give a
fucking
fuck
day,
about Israel.
every time he comes in the office, he's like, what's going on with Iran? Or am I gonna have to go? I go, no, son, you're still in high school. You got another year. You're all right now. We'll deal with that later. I just encourage him, go do some push-ups, bro. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Because he gets in his head about it, because he doesn't want to go fight in a war for another country. But anyway, different topic. Hold on.
So, rumor has it that next to exit the Trump administration will be Pam Bondi and Tulsi Gabbard. Now, we'll see how Trump and the White House want to handle all of this. But I would say that the sources that are reporting that these developments are happening are pretty strong. And I know for a fact that the reporters that have these sources, they're White House sources. So I would anticipate we are going to see that inevitably. Now, I think this is a larger pattern, whether you want to just accredit this is how Trump operates, or whether you want to put this in terms of this is the chaos of the White House and people wanting to flee the ship right now. I think there's a little bit of both. Now, my concern, I always said that Bongino would be the canary in the coal mine. And if Bongino doesn't stick around, that's the sign that things are not going well. If Dan Bongino figures that there's no purpose, or it's not advantageous for him to stick around anymore, that means things are not going good. He doesn't believe he can do whatever he needs to do to help his public profile, or follow through with all the stuff he talked about on his podcast for years. Bongino was the canary in the coal mine to me. And so when he left, that was the smoke signal that, it ain't happening. Deep state arrests, all this stuff, draining the swamp, it ain't happening. And if Bongino gets in there and feels he can't get any of this stuff done, then that's the sign that it's not getting done. There's no agenda to get it done. There's nothing getting done behind the scenes. So Bongino was the canary in the coal mine. The other one I kind of saw as a bad sign was Lindsey Halligan. When Lindsey Halligan left, to me, she got kind of thrown under the bus by Pam Bondi into a case that she couldn't even win because of a technicality. And that was on Pam Bondi. Now, whether Pam Bondi realized that or not, I don't know. But so Lindsey Halligan, so Bondi can't get Letitia James. Bondi can't get James Comey. She throws Lindsey Halligan under the bus to take the fall for it, puts her in an unwinnable situation. Lindsey Halligan leaves. So really, I would even say both of those situations, because I think Halligan was a true believer. I think Halligan, like Bongino, I don't know what you think about Bongino now, but I think they wanted to see deep state arrests. I think they wanted to get in there and find these swamp monsters and hold them accountable and hold these cases up for the American people to see that we're getting things done. We can clean the country up. So the fact that those two were out, that was the canary in the coal mine for me. That was it's not happening. This administration behind the scenes, the confidence, the morale is low if they don't want to be around. Then, of course, you get the Joe Kent situation, and that kind of blew the doors wide open when Joe Kent left. That just blew the doors wide open. And there have been some other exits at the Pentagon. There were a couple other exits even this week at the Trump administration, some lesser known names, but some significant roles. So people are leaving left and right. So now Trump is apparently going to fire Bondi and Gabbard, or we'll see. Maybe they just resign, or maybe there's some other decision that gets made, kind of like the Noam decision, where it's like, okay, you're out, but now you're over here. He's done that with a couple other people. But, with Bondi, it's like that's probably a clear winner for Trump. She's a disaster. She has the lowest approval of anybody in this administration. So he could fire her, and maybe that would be a good look, because that's what people want. But with Gabbard, I don't know how he goes about that, because I believe there's a deal. I'm firmly of the belief that a deal was made between Gabbard and Trump, that Trump would give her a position in the administration, maybe even the position she has now specifically, in exchange for an endorsement during the campaign. So Gabbard comes out, endorses Trump, and then Trump gives Gabbard a position inside the administration. Now, obviously, Trump's foreign policy doesn't align with Gabbard's foreign policy, but for the most part, she's remained silent and just done her job. Now, if Trump does fire her, and if there is this deal that was made during the campaign that I believe, then I think that's going to be bad news for Trump, because then I see Gabbard going the way of Joe Kent, except unlike Joe Kent, who's kind of, grown his name recognition since the resignation, Gabbard already has mass name recognition and mass appeal in politics. And so if she goes on a similar campaign as Joe Kent, that will be even more damaging to Donald Trump and his foreign policy than what we've seen with Joe Kent. So that's one he might need to be a little more, handle it with a little lighter touch, rather than with Pam Bondi, where you can basically just fire her, and that would be a popular decision. But it sounds like this is going to happen inevitably. I don't know when, but the people that are reporting this have White House sources. I mean, they wouldn't make something like this up and put their reputation on the line if their sources didn't tell them that it was good. So I think major shakeups are coming, and they're obviously thinking about the midterms, but more importantly, what they're thinking about is this war. That's what they're thinking about most importantly. So they don't care. Trump comes out and says, yes, you're going to have to pay higher prices for everything because of this war. It's worth it. They don't.
Fucking so sick of hearing it. It's worth it, dude. It ain't worth it to my like you said, our son's going to war and dying for a fucking other country. My pocketbook. You know what I mean? We were fucking finally starting to dig our way out. Now we're fucked, just like we might as well have fucking Putnhead Joe back in. Yeah. Really?
That's the way I'm starting to feel. And I hate feeling like that, dude. I've been a loyalist for fucking 10 years, since 15. And now this dude's fucking me in the ass. I'm tired of this. It's like, dude, we had this shit turned around.
What about trust the plan thing?
I don't trust the plan. I trust the plan as much as my pocketbook will let me. I vote with my pocketbook. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? When gas is fucking almost $6 an hour, and we're in California, bro.
There's a theory, right? That when we start looking at politics, and I've had to learn this along the way. Like he was saying, like there was a deal cut. What was the deal? I'll endorse you. You give me a position. I have credibility. You have credibility. Maybe there's another deal. I mean, I can't see him getting rid of Gabbard because she's done nothing but good. She's caused.
Dude, she said nothing.
She's
kept her mouth shut.
What she didn't do is she didn't come out against Kent, and she's not going to come out against Kent because Kent's right. And it's the truth. He's right. Everything that's happening right now, whether you believe in war or not, what he did was he stood for what he believes in. You stand for something or you fall for anything. It's the oldest term in the world. And unless, I mean, I guess you could move her to something else because they didn't fire Kristi Noem. They gave her a position somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Let's keep going. I have another one here. We're getting close.
What you're seeing in the headlines today about Pam Bondi is just a scripted performance. Today, April 2nd, the administration announced the firing of Attorney General Pam Bondi, and they want you to believe she was ousted for mishandling the Epstein files, but look at the evidence, not the headlines. The evidence of the illusion is that Bondi didn't leave in disgrace. On Wednesday night, the night she was supposedly fired, she was still at the president's side for a primetime address, and then just yesterday morning, she was walking into the Supreme Court. In our world, you aren't fired 1 minute and still standing next to the throne the very next day. But this is the Kristi Noem blueprint. Noem was removed from Homeland Security in March, only to be revolved into a new role as Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas, a position with no public oversight. Now, they are doing the same thing with Bondi, by moving her to a major private sector role to operate in the shadows. But the most dangerous part is her replacement. The acting AG Todd Blanche isn't an outsider, but he is the architect of the Epstein silence. In January, Blanche was the one who oversaw the release of 3 million Epstein pages, while personally signing off on the extensive redactions that blacked out the names of the wealthy predators. He even issued a memo stating that no further disclosure was warranted nor reason for further investigation, and he is also the one who questioned Maxwell, persuading her to deny any involvement with DT. By firing Bondi now, they completely shut down her April 14th subpoena to testify over the files. They reset the clock and then hand the files to the man who already proved he will redact them to protect the system. They aren't cleaning house, they are shielding their assets. It's not accountability, it's a tactical reset. So wake up, because the system doesn't punish its own, it just rebrands them. We do not forgive, we do not forget. Anonymously enlightening out.
And that's, I don't normally do like, an anonymous, clip like that, but if you listen to what he's saying, it makes complete sense to me, because what they do is they just move them around. There's chess pieces on the board and they just move around. And she's gotten so much heat.
Yeah, she's a liability now.
She's gotten so much heat, just like Kristi Noem. And I just don't see how. And maybe, I mean, they usually when something comes down like this, like Gabbard, why they would take her out, because he's pissed off because Gabbard didn't come out against Kent. That's the word. Why would you do that when she's done nothing but help your administration with getting all this information out about the Obamas, about the Russia hoax, all these different things? the COVID stuff, she's been in the front of it, all of it, making sure that it's getting taken care of. So if he pulls her, then that tells you what you need to know. I don't know exactly about these about the firing. We're gonna get to it right now, the firing of the generals, but something doesn't sit right with me, and I'm not sure what it is. So let's just keep going. You got something you want to say about that? Okay.
I'm
gonna get you warmed up for the next clip.
All right, Mr. Trump, my people, the good old boys, we jumped off our tractors. We put our hammers down to go and rally people up to go vote for you, to get a shit ton of people together with our big lifted trucks and our flags to support you. Right now, we have a problem with pedophiles within the fucking government. My neighbor could call and say I hit my dog too hard, and I'd get arrested and investigated. But you're going to hand us some shit on a silver platter that literally incriminates some of the highest people in this fucking country, and you ain't going to arrest them right here in front of us, right here in front of our faces? Fuck that. I'm talking directly to you and everybody in your little cabinet. There are millions of capable people who voted for you, brother, who are sick and tired and ready to do something about this shit. I don't want to say that you're a pedophile, but you are 100% complicit with protecting pedophiles. Y'all got all the power in the fucking world, and you won't even put people in cuffs. People go to work, pay their fucking bills, pay the taxes. Y'all can't even protect the most innocent of the angels. These babies, man. There is absolutely no reason pedophiles should be running our fucking country.
And that says everything you need to hear. That's exactly the point. I mean, right there, and it just seems like ever since it seems like when I kind of went back in the timeline and I was looking at like when Musk left, and which was when the Epstein files was getting dug up,
ready to get it because he was saying that Trump was in them.
Yeah, well, and he's in them, whether or not it's legitimate or whatever. He's in there, and there's all that stuff that goes with that. And then there's the other part where we all voted for him. Trump trains and, just, out there for them and for what's happening with just the Epstein files alone, which that's one little tiny piece of all this, because we got the bigger piece to this is the connection that we're going to get to, and we better get to it. We're going to run late tonight if we don't get to it soon. Charlie Kirk, because the Charlie Kirk piece seems to me to be a like a sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like a ritual to me. Now we're gonna get to it. We're almost there. We got a couple more clips though. Hold on, let's listen to what this guy is saying.
Well, what he said.
Our Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth just fired the highest-ranking officer in the United States Army in the middle of a war. General Randy George, a 4-star general and the Army's chief of staff, was told today to retire immediately. No warning, no transition, just a phone call telling him he's done. George is a 44-year career soldier, West Point graduate, combat tours in Desert Storm, Iraq, and Afghanistan, Purple Heart recipient, 4 Bronze Stars. He was responsible for over 1 million soldiers and was a year and a half away from finishing his term. His replacement is General Christopher Leneve, a man who previously served as Hegseth's personal military aide. The Pentagon spokesperson described Leneve as someone who is, quote, completely trusted by Secretary Hegseth to carry out the vision of this administration without fault. Now, regardless of where you stand politically, here are the facts. This is not the first. Hegseth has now fired or pushed out more than a dozen senior generals and admirals since taking office, including the chairman of the Joint Chiefs and the chief of naval operations. This is happening while the U.S. has active combat operations against Iran with no clear end date. No one has publicly explained what George did wrong. An Army official told Fox News that Hegseth did not give George any reason for asking him to step down. Whether you see this as cleaning house or gutting experienced leadership during wartime, this is a major story that deserves your attention. Follow for updates.
So,
how do I feel about that? Obama did it. Biden did it.
What?
Cleaned house with all the fucking generals because they were pushing that trans agenda bullshit, and they pushed them all out. This I don't understand. That seems like a really shady fucking operation.
It might be early, and it might be the reason. It might, like I said, it might be the reason why. You know, I mean, we don't know why they fired the Joint Chief of Staff. We don't know why they fired a 4-star general that has 1,000 or 1 million soldiers on it. We don't know about that, but what we do know is loyalty. And when Trump doesn't have loyalty, he gets rid of them. And maybe those generals were the ones that were pushing that transgender stuff, or maybe they're the ones that pushed the Iran war. We don't know.
Yeah,
and it's
I want to know now.
It was just yesterday, so
yeah.
I mean, but
I definitely want to know because that sounds really fucked up. 44 years of service.
Yeah,
but if you're pushing that trans agenda and you were part of that shit, trying to make America's military trans, you know what? Fuck you. That ain't the way it should be. So I definitely need more information on that one.
Okay, let's see if I can get it for you. Let me see. Okay.
I got to tell you, the war propaganda has just been absolutely intense. Of course, they announced last night that an F-15 was shot down. I posted that. People said I was making it up. Pentagon said that. And then today, an A-10 Warthog got shot down over the Strait of Hormuz, attacking Iranian targets, which means the ground forces going in. They've said they're planning. And people are just all over my X-feed, bots, saying, you're a traitor, you're a liar, it didn't happen. Folks, I'm the one that 34 days ago when this started said it wasn't going to end overnight. The Pentagon gave Trump a report saying 90+% chance the missiles don't fall. The close Strait of Hormuz. So it's not supporting Trump to go along with the Israel lobby and Mark Levin and just believe the bullshit. That's not good. We want the rest of Trump's agenda to succeed, but he's listening to bad advisors. Even yesterday said, you know, I'll tend to listen to evil people, really bad people like Mark Levin. You're nice to me, so I'll do anything for you. It's just bizarre. So an A-10 was shot down. The Marines have arrived, the Army. They fired the head of the Army yesterday. He's been advising against this. This is crazy. This is like Custer's Last Stand or something. This is a trap. Larry Fink's so happy at the BlackRock operation. This is killing the recovery. And we'll see where we are in a month or two. For all you Warhawks that think you're really cool and all you never Trumpers that now worship Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro, it's truly sick. It turned out Salem Radio is owned by Israel. You're accusing Tucker Carlson being a Qatari agent. It's sick. Israel brags around this country's foreign policy. That's wrong, folks. I don't care what government is. So Trump ran on never having a big new war, and it's here. And you guys can't even admit when our aircraft get shot down. We're sending ground troops to be big casualties. And they're sitting in hospital ships, everything, getting ready for this. This is a disaster. We need to admit this is being planned to be executed so we can put pressure on it to kill it. But the establishment says it's not happening, so we don't build opposition to it. The PSYOP ain't working, folks. And the American people have a memory, a long memory now. We're awake. Pray for our troops. Pray for Trump to wake up. And pray for the missing A-10 pilots.
Yeah, they found one.
They found one. Yeah. So you hear what he said? Did you hear the first part of that? That the general that was fired was the one that told him not to go in. Did you hear him say that? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
Have to play it again?
Yeah.
Because
the guy, oof, that's crazy, dude.
Hold on. We'll do it again. Fuck it. We'll just do it again.
Yeah, I need to hear it. I got to see it come out of his.
I got to tell you, the war propaganda has just been absolutely intense. Of course, they announced last night that an F-15 was shot down. I posted that. People said I was making it up. Pentagon said that. And then today, an A-10 Warthog got shot out of the Strait of Hormuz, attacking Iranian targets, which means the ground forces going in. They've said they're planning. And people are just all over my X feed, bots, saying you're a traitor, you're a liar, it didn't happen. Folks, I'm the one that 34 days ago when this started said it wasn't going to end overnight. The Pentagon gave Trump a report saying 90+% chance the middle is going to fall, the close Strait of Hormuz. So it's not supporting Trump to go along with the Israel lobby and Mark Levin and just believe the bullshit. That's not good. We want the rest of Trump's Senate to succeed, but you listen to bad advisors. Even yesterday said, I'll tend to listen to evil people, really bad people like Mark Levin. You're nice to me, so I'll do anything for you. It's just bizarre. So an A-10 was shot down. The Marines have arrived, the Army. They fired the head of the Army yesterday because he's been advising against this. This is crazy. This is like Custer's Last Stand or something. This is a trap.
You heard what he said? He said that he was advising against it. So that's that one. Let's just keep going.
I am sick to my stomach and horrified at the change in Trump and just wounded and sad and upset because I have been so satisfied and so proud of what Trump's been through and what he's done and how far we came together. And it was a pleasure to stand with him and be persecuted right alongside him. And I still respect Trump for all that. And I still believe he is at heart a good man. But whether it's mental exhaustion or whatever it is or who's around him, he's making more and more big mistakes. It's your fault. Third world countries that need the fertilizer, and Australia that already has fuel running out, and all over the world, the jet airlines are saying within a few weeks they'll have to cancel most flights because lack of jet fuel. And what do you think that? And Taiwan can't make chips because they can't get the liquid natural gas. That's going to hurt us bad. I mean, this is crazy. All because Netanyahu did what he wanted to do and drug us into this, and they lied to Trump and said the regime will fall in a few days and the opposition will overthrow them. Remember, Trump said that was the plan, and it didn't work. And remember what the founder and head of Blackwater said, a right-wing hawk. He said, I can't believe Trump did this. It's not going to go well. The Pentagon told him that, and he said, but just please don't escalate the boots on the ground because that will be the next thing. And that's why we need a repudiation of boots on the ground, because they have the talking point. They're pushing it everywhere. Fox, you name it. You do not want a ground war in Iran. And notice he's now backing away from that. And that's why we're going to put pressure. We get told by neocons and these influencers that are paid off by the establishment, by Israel and others, that being loyal to Trump and loyal to MAGA and being a good American means supporting whatever the neocons want and ground war with the Iranians and that nightmare. No, that's not what we voted for. And they want us to sit down and shut up, or they'll attack you, they'll intimidate you, they'll call you a traitor like they did Joe Kent and a coward when they're the cowards. Israel says they won't help us in a ground war, but they want us in a ground war. Because they want you to shut up, because they don't want Trump to get pushback, because they want him bubble wrapped where they control him. So you bet your boots I've been all over Trump's ass and saying, really hardcore things that are true. Because they know I've been loyal to Trump from the very start, even before he announced his candidacy. Roger Stone came in to recruit me, went over the stuff, Trump's background, what he promised Trump would do. I said, okay, let me see. So I was already lined up to support Trump a month before he announced. And you notice, boom, right away, he's on the show, all that, bam. We had the biggest show in the world at that time, still gigantic. Biggest English-speaking program, period. Not just political, period, in the world. Billions of views a quarter on YouTube alone. Hundreds of radio stations, top-rated. Number one on Shoutcast. Number one on Apple iTunes. Number one. And we backed Trump, and we went to the RNC, and a third of the people there, the hundreds of thousands, were wearing our shirts. And the left saw that and got horrified and said, oh my God. And got declassified that the CIA and Obama said, get that guy. And they set up a major project against me with Hillary Clinton involved. And all I've gotten is pain and attacks and everything for backing Trump. And I would do it as long as he was fighting hard. Never asked for support, never asked them to protect me. I got reached out to by the Justice Department saying, hey, part of our task force, we know they did this to you. It's been declassified. We're going after them. And so I see, you know, the neocon surrogates going, oh, Jones got paid or Jones wants clicks. Got paid? I don't get paid for clicks. I don't get paid for what I say on air. I sell products, and if people think what I'm doing is a good job and they like the products, they buy them. And that's it. What I sell is completely separate from what I do on air. When I'm up here talking about stopping a nuclear war and a total ground war in World War IV, or whatever you want to call it, Pentagon calls it that. I just use their proper name. Mark Levin makes a big joke out of it, hoping his audience is stupid. And I just go down the line and do what is right. And that's it. I was around before the word influencer existed. With my guests and my audience and our action, we created the modern anti-globalist template. We created the gantry, the launch pad, the runway for Trump and other populists around the world, and we're recognized by Bukele in El Salvador and by Bolsonaro in Brazil and by Nigel Farage in the UK and by Viktor Orban in Hungary as being the original that at a mass scale popularized this movement and freedom and energized the grassroots for everyone, not just here, but around the world to challenge the globalists. We spotlighted the UN. We spotlighted the World Economic Forum. We spotlighted Bill Gates. We hit the barbed wire first. We were the shock troops, my guests, my crew, this audience of activists. And I won't sell out that legacy of integrity for anybody. You can put a gun to my head, and I won't go against what's right. I won't move 1 centimeter from what I believe to be the absolute truth. Now, do I get things a little off sometimes? Do I get things wrong sometimes? You bet, and I tell you when I do. About a 98% accuracy rate. But in the general main, we've been dead on. And I am sick to my stomach and horrified at the change in Trump and just wounded and sad and upset because I have been so satisfied and so proud of what Trump's been through and what he's done and how far we came together. And it was a pleasure to stand with him and be persecuted right alongside him. And I still respect Trump for all that. And I still believe he is at heart a good man. But whether it's mental exhaustion or whatever it is or who's around him, he's making more and more big mistakes. I mean, Howard Lutnick should have been removed. When it turned out he was at Epstein Island, repeatedly lied about it, moved in next door to him, in business with him. All this stuff, he lied, and Trump defended it.
In a world where global...
Yep, and I wanted to get that out because I think that more than just the fact that Trump has betrayed us, and he really has, Alex Jones, and you know what? I watched the fucking internet, and all these people say all this shit. If they only knew what Alex Jones has done for the American people for fucking 32 years, that, you know, they a bunch of fucking dipshits. I mean, I don't even know. They're a bunch of Bongino. I mean, they probably watch Bongino and Tim Pool. You know what I mean? What do you do? I mean, I don't know. I mean, when you think about it, because I am a very good judge of character, and does Alex get a little wound up and fucking flip out? And I mean, think about what they've done to him. They have completely fucking ripped his fucking guts inside out with all these lawsuits and all this stuff. And, you know, but he's been dead on, and he gets all the top people on his show. So whenever I want to know the truth about something, I don't go listen to Bongino. I go straight to Alex Jones because I know that he's going to give us the deal right straight. That's just how it is. So anyway, all right. So I want to say that. I want to get that out of the way. We're gonna run a little late. It's just we're gonna run a little late, and I really wanted to not run late, but we're here. I mean, we're here, and so want you to pay attention. Okay, let me do this first. This clip right here. Pay attention to this clip because this clip tells you a lot about the administration right now. You got when you see them all huddled up like that, and they're talking and they're getting questions asked, and they pan this camera, and you need to see the look on different people's faces. It tells you everything you need to know about what's going on right now in our administration. And if you're not paying attention, you miss it. So you got to pay attention to this shit. This is probably one of the biggest telltale signs that I've seen in recent history with the Trump administration, and it takes up.
I'm wondering if you think if Charlie Kirk's assassin worked alone or if he worked with it.
I don't know. I mean, I can tell you he didn't work alone on the internet because it seems that he became radicalized on the internet. That's just by watching what same things that you're watching and hearing. It looks like he became radicalized over the internet. And it seems like he has wonderful parents, wonderful neighbor, smart guy, great boards, great marks, great student. And then something happened to him over a fairly short period of time. It looks like he was radicalized over the internet, and is radicalized on the left. He's a left. Mm-hmm. A lot of problems with the left, and they get protected, and they shouldn't be protected, as you understand, I think, very well from the tone of your question. Thank you very much.
See it? See it? See how he got all squiggly? Now I'm setting this up because we're gonna.
Everybody else is just standing there.
Yeah, we're gonna go through. I'm gonna build this up because I've done a deep dive into this stuff, and I want to kind of build it up and let you see all the different things that's going on, so that you get a clear understanding of what's going on with this whole thing, and with analysis and everything as we go. I'm gonna start. I'm going to start. Sorry, guys. I made a mistake here. I just got to. I'm just going to play. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to play a piece.
Well, I mean, I'll say up front, Joe Kent is extremely respected in our community. His resume is insane. For me, I'm going to trust if he comes out and said that's what happened. And again, it was a huge story back when it happened. And it's not just Joe Kent, the National Counterterrorism Center. We also had Mike Glover, another fellow Green Beret, come out and say one of his high up sources and friends in the CIA also told him the CIA was also blocked from investigating foreign involvement into this. At the same time, Joe Kent, Tulsi Gabbard, and the National Counterterrorism Center is. So the first thing that needs to happen is Kash Patel needs to be drugged in, subpoenaed, and questioned for why this happened. If this is true, which I'm going to assume it is because people that I respect and trust have from different sources have said this is true and happened, we need answers on that. Why would the FBI have shut down other intelligence apparatuses from wanting to look into foreign involvement? It seems like that's what you would want to know. Whether it doesn't matter what country it was, China, Russia, Israel, Iran, I don't care. I'd want us to know if there was some foreign involvement in the assassination of an American citizen on our soil, right? We would want to know that. So first thing that's got to happen, Kash Patel needs to be drugged in, subpoenaed, and questioned for why that took place. Why that took place? I don't know. It could be something as as simple as Kash Patel wanted all the credit for himself. It could be something as nefarious as a full FBI cover-up on this. I don't know. It's all conjecture on my part at this point. But as for Joe Kent being willing to testify, yeah, if he's willing to testify that he believes that, then I think that's a credible source. And also another thing I think is interesting, and this is not, I'm still willing to say who did it, right? I've never thought it was TPUSA personally. I did an entire 30-minute episode on the security team and broke down why I don't think they were involved. I think they're just incompetent. But I do believe there was a foreign involvement. And what really, really is making me suspicious right now is the fact that it's the new war in Iran. And then we look back at Charlie's actual ideology on war with Iran, and she was incredibly anti-war in Iran. I've shown 15 different clips of that, so much so that he went in and tried to get Donald Trump to stop the first 12-day war. Joe Kent even confirmed that in the Oval Office together. It's very, very suspicious to me that Charlie was killed and everyone else who has vocally gone to Trump to try to get him to stop the wars in Iran. Tucker Carlson was immediately smeared. They try to run him as a foreign agent through Iran. Joe Kent comes out in resistance to this, immediately smear campaign. So I'm starting to wonder why every single person who has a big voice that comes out against the war in Iran is sort of trying to be, censored, deplatformed, or, disappearing completely. I think it's getting very, very suspicious to me because obviously this war is super, super unpopular with the American people. And honestly, with Charlie Kirk, you can't deny Charlie Kirk. If Charlie Kirk was vocally against this war right now, it would be a massive, massive problem.
Oh, he called me a couple times, but once, keep pressure on Epstein, good job. Keep pressure on Iran, we got to stop this, which he was right. And now Joe Kent said he told him that in the Oval Office. And then Mark Levin says he's a liar. Bongino says he's a liar with no proof. They were there. I told people they were at the meetings.
I'm wondering if you think if Charlie Kirk's assassination.
The only thing we deal with at the FBI and the Department of Justice is facts. We delivered at record speed a manhunt to capture Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin in 33 hours. And if you put that in perspective, for Luigi Mangione or the Boston bomber, they took them 5 days and a police officer lost their life in their manhunt. We are running on absolutely every single lead. And the best thing we can do to honor my friend Charlie Kirk's life is to make sure that everyone involved is prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And that's what we're focused on, investigating the facts, not trading in conspiracy theories.
Because if Andrew left Santa Barbara before Charlie got shot, then there was a plot to kill him. That's why it matters. If Andrew left Santa Barbara before Charlie got shot, there was a plot to kill Charlie Kirk. And Andrew knew about it. That's why it matters. In my opinion, it is evidence that that might have been the case and that they've been lying to us the entire time. That's why it matters. There's no other explanation I can think of short of Andrew was having an affair with somebody in Scottsdale that he would be sneaking into Scottsdale when he's supposed to be on the air on the Charlie Kirk show. And I'm sick and tired of the constant obfuscation and lies. And when we raise real questions like this, they ignore it. But when somebody says, you think Erica was buying a jumpsuit at Aloe? Oh my God, no. Of course she wasn't buying a jumpsuit at Aloe. I was buying a jumpsuit. Oh, that's when you choose to come in and answer it? That's when you choose to come in and answer the accusations? Are you serious? That's when you come in, is when someone thinks he was buying a crop top? But I do 3 shows accusing you of leaving Santa Barbara before Charlie got shot or banged or whatever happened to him, and you're just dead silent? In my opinion, accusing you. Because I can't think of a way to reconcile all these facts. Short of evil, I cannot find a way to reconcile all these facts. Now, maybe the answer is you were having an affair in Arizona. That's personal and private. I don't want to know about it. But I think you owe us an explanation. Because your phone magically came back on while your plane that you supposedly were on was 19,000 feet in the air. And why would it magically come back on if you had Wi-Fi through the duration of the flight? That doesn't make sense to me. Why did Marina Minas say you were on a flight at 2:05 p.m. Utah time when the flight you supposedly got on didn't leave until 3:30? That doesn't make sense to me either. You cannot reconcile these facts, Andrew. You can't dodge them. You can't run from them. Easy has been encouraging me for weeks to text Andrew and ask him, were you on that flight? I've resisted. I thought I already knew the answer because I can't reconcile it any other way.
We'll get back to this in a second too, but I've compiled a whole bunch of files together here for you so that we can kind of go through this together and look at all of this and see how it happened. But 3 patsies, 2 shooters, 2 distractions. 3 patsies, yellow, LC center, right there, 2 shooters. Those are the red. 2 distractions, 1 right there, 1 right there. Okay, that was an immediate on the ground distraction. This was an immediate on the news distraction to misdirect about false information. All right, so all of this was playing in play at one time, and this is why I'm calling it an operation. All right. All right. Now that we understand that, and I am very happy that we are all going to be on the same page here, let's get back to it. The 3 patsies: Tyler Robinson, pistol patsy, and a cell phone gun guy. Now, I'm going to make this quite simple for you guys. I'm not going to make it very difficult for you because we don't have a lot of time. I want to get right to it, show you exactly what you need to know. And I'm going to do many videos covering this. This is just going to be one of the many videos that I do. I'm going to keep covering it until it sticks, until people get this. But I'm going to prove to you that the 2 shooters actually assassinated Charlie Kirk. I'm going to show you how both of them actually did it. I'm going to show you how both shooters worked to cover for the 3 patsies, what their positions were and how they were covering for those 3 patsies. And I'm going to show you how the 2 distractions played into all of this to give the perception that the public now has, which is completely wrong. It is completely false. And I'm going to show you how they actually created this deception to make sure that you kind of stay dumbed down a little bit. Okay. So as you can see, I have the proof of location so you guys can see for the infrared beam and all that good stuff. Some of the detailed points that Charlie was shot twice. I'm going to show you that the BA sniper covered for the cell phone patsy, the palm shooter covered for the LC, and the palm shooter covered for the pistol patsy as well. Okay. I'm going to show you clear evidence of a lot of different things, but I have a lot of notes here. All right. So we're going to get past all of these notes right here. Even if we don't do it all in one video, guess what? We're going to continue working at this. I want you to just join me. Join me on We Are Not Going to Mars on TikTok, and we're going to continue talking about this until we're blue in the face. All right, so let's get to it. All right, guys. Now, as I said, everybody is assuming that this guy right here on the LC, okay, Tyler Robinson, took a shot and hit Kurt right here in the middle, hit Kirk right here in the middle of the, what do you call this thing? We'll say courtyard because that's what it's called on Google Maps. So we'll call it the courtyard. Hit Kirk right here in the middle of the courtyard. Now, that is a very long shot. It's not crazy long of a shot, but it's a decent distance, about a football field and a half away, to hit somebody, you know, square in the neck. What we realized is a lot of that data was wrong. The type of weapon that they were saying was used was just way too powerful, and it literally would have been a way worse day than what it was for Charlie Kirk. So what did I find out? What I ended up finding out is that none of this happened the way they said it happened. And as a matter of fact, this person right here, there's no way that this person could have been the shooter. Why? Because this person on the BA building was the shooter. This is who shot and killed Charlie Kirk. This is the angle that they did it from right here. This is who shot and killed Charlie Kirk. This is who shot and killed Charlie Kirk right here. This was the first shot. This was the second shot. Again, this was the first shot. This was the second shot. And I'm going to prove this to you, okay? This person right here was nothing more than a patsy. This person right here nothing more than a patsy. This person is cell phone gun guy. This person right here is pistol patsy. Okay. This is distraction number one. This is George Zen right here. This is distraction number two. This is Phil Lyman on TV, and we'll get to his interview in a second. Okay. And of course, back here, the infamous Tyler Robinson, who is being splashed all over the media as the person who's, caused all of this. Tyler Robinson did not cause this, guys. I don't know to what point he has an involvement, but I know it is not nefarious in a sense that he has caused any kind of real crime. I'm just going to be honest with you. He didn't shoot anybody. He didn't do anything. He was there. As far as I know of, he was in the area. We'll just say, I'm not even going to say there. He was in the area. And that's not a crime. As far as I can tell, it's definitely not a crime. I believe that he and others were coerced to go to the area that day, the patsies. I believe that they were groomed on the expectations of what they were to provide that day, and the patsies as well as the distractions. And I believe everybody played their role. I believe everybody did what they were supposed to do, including the 2 red dots. And I'm going to prove that to you now. I know you guys are sick and tired of waiting, so let me go ahead and get to proving. The ascension through transgression a little bit. Let's cover that for a second. All right, so let's scroll down a little bit here. I want you guys to see something, right? So when we're looking at these colors and you're looking at the black stripes on the building up here, let me scroll back up real quick so you can see that. And you're looking at the black stripes on Duncan. I want you to
about this. So these colors are the colors of the, you see what the colors are, the stripe colors. These stripe colors represent something. Okay. And if you haven't noticed, there's stripes in what the hell is it called again? The Israel, the what's it called? The planes came from
Egypt.
Egypt, and Rothschilds and Epstein buildings all have these stripes, right? So that's what he's breaking down right here about, because there's more to it than this is the thing. The shot, yeah, we're going to show you where the shot came from, but more importantly, how this whole thing lines up, where because what I said in the beginning of the show was it's not just Charlie Kirk being shot. This is a coordinated operation with a bunch of people involved with killing Charlie Kirk for a purpose. It wasn't just because Charlie Kirk was, talking about, stuff at a college campus. It's not why. He went out about Israel. He was talking about he didn't want the Iran war. He found out some stuff that was going on within his sphere, like people,
stealing money.
They were stealing millions of dollars, and he had just ordered a Doge, which, by the way, they'd never heard that before, right? Elon Musk brought the Doge investigations about, right? And all this stuff was coming about right then. And so this is a coordinated effort to kill Charlie Kirk as a sacrifice. And when we get through all this, it'll make sense. And a lot of this is words and talking, but he breaks it down. So just stay with me while this goes on, because I have several clips. I took out all the stuff that I could, but the way I have to do this for you to understand is you got to listen to what this guy's saying, because he really does break it down. The shooters, he breaks down where, why, how, the whole thing, who's involved. I mean, all that stuff. So when we get to the other end of this, hopefully we can get it done tonight. You'll see what I found out, and I'm shocked to find out that what I found out. And, there's a guy that was standing right in front of Charlie, maybe 20 feet away, and he shot him right in the chest. And never was arrested. So pretty crazy when you think about it. Let me continue.
Understand why I'm saying that this is from Israel. Okay, I don't want you looking at this and saying, "Oh, the blue and white stripes don't match the black stripes." You're really reaching here. No, I'm not reaching at all. If you know Israel's connection to Egypt and to Babylon, then you understand that Israel celebrates Egypt. They just do. They're intertwined in the background. They don't want to tell you that a lot of the Jewish mysticism comes out of Babylon. So this mysticism that's practiced through Judaism and practiced through, that the Zionists practice through Kabbalah and stuff like that, this is directly aligned with Egypt. So the UAE has, Israel and Egypt have been accused of using the UAE as a proxy to deal with each other so that Elbit can do business with Egypt and they can kind of slide some things in there. And I'm not going to get into all of that and go through all those articles. That's kind of over the top and just extra information. But I'm telling you that this is how all of these are kind of tied together. So, Israel is not a stranger to Egypt in any kind of way. And there's a long, rich history there, but we're not going that route. So I want you to see exactly where that comes out of. It comes from a place and from an ancient place, like a lot of things that they do. A lot of the things they do have a lot of great meaning to them, and we'll cover that in the next slide after this. But I don't want to read through all of this. Actually, let's read through it real quick. In Mamluk architecture, which is the period style depicted in this bathhouse and imitated by Epstein, the alternating oblique pattern is meant to represent the Garden of Jannah, I believe it's pronounced. This is because the steps up into the garden alternate between silver and gold. The Garden of Jannah is basically heaven for all simplified intents and purposes. However, as the Mamluks practiced Islam, it is also the place where Adam and Eve lived before being expelled to earth. For simplification, the Garden of Eden. In that version of theology, though the expulsion was not a punishment for sin, it was done to send them out to experience hardships and gain some of the wisdom of God so that they could truly experience the bliss of paradise when they returned to the garden when life was done. With all of these elements, one can easily form a very twisted and jaded view of why Epstein chose this decorative scheme. It represents both the place where innocence is lost from humanity and where people return to experience endless pleasures of paradise. Kind of chilling when you know what was happening there. They use these patterns as a representation of their belief system, as a representation of the importance of the building, to go along kind of with the that whole theme of the ascension through transgression. And here's more of that here, and you'll see even Podesta here with the fish and the 24. Like, this is very, very real esoteric stuff that these guys are into, and what they've done with these children and all these kinds of things. Now, this is the height of it, right? This is the height of it right here. And this is not what Charlie Kirk was involved in, not the height of it, but on the lower levels that answer to this. Imagine all your heads of states, all your big businessmen, folks like this guy right here, folks like these people in this picture up here, these business people that get to these higher levels. They go to this place because they are at the higher level. And at this place, they're able to obtain and access and achieve that kind of power based on their belief system and what they must do as far as transgression or ascension. They want to ascend to a different place, to a different belief system, to a different power position in the physical life. So they must do a spiritual sacrifice. And herein lies where, a lot of things that they don't want to talk to you about as far as the bunkers and what was really going on inside this building here. And this is why I tried to tell everybody, listen, this was a ritual sacrifice, a ritual assassination of Charlie Kirk. He broke the order. He broke the code. He broke his oath. Now, he was not at the top with the rest of those guys and girls, right? But he was in a place where he was under them. So if you're under those guys and girls, right? That means that you're still accountable to them. It means you're still in allegiance with them and you still owe your loyalty to them. And if you take that away, then one of these people who are sitting at these top organizations, you know, the people who would have been the Epstein Island and the heads of nation states are able to look at him and say, hey, as an initiated, as a person who was initiated, you did not hold your oath. You did not hold your place. You did not hold your position. And then we came to you in the Hamptons and we tried to tell you, hey, no, we're going this direction. This is what we want to do. This is what we need you to do. And you still disobeyed. You still went against us. So they feel justified in what they did to Charlie Kirk. That's why Trump's reaction was what it was as soon as he was told about what happened to Charlie Kirk afterwards. Trump's reaction was very cold and he started to talk about the ballroom. I know I'm cooking right now, y'all. If I'm cooking and I'm cooking real good, I said I wanted to do this with no stopping just to show y'all that I know my stuff, okay?
Okay, so real quick. So the reason why I'm breaking it down like this is so that you see the esoteric part of this. And whether or not you fully are on board with this or you believe that Charlie was groomed and or not, this is what he's breaking down, is that although Charlie had no idea that he was in the middle of this cultish ritual, he had no idea that he was being groomed by the people that were giving him money, by his fucking wife, about all this stuff going on over here. And when he broke from them, because if you remember weeks before, he started coming out against Israel and, and he was telling, Trump, he went to the White House telling Trump, don't go into Iran because, blah, 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 all that stuff. He was going against what Israel, the Rothschilds, and all the people at the top, Podesta, and all those people, their direction, their plan that they wanted to do, he was breaking away from that. And so he was sacrificed. This is just what I'm looking at. This is only my opinion. It's all opinion. It's all just my observation. And when that happened, they took him out and they used him as sacrifice. And guess what happened after that happened? Everybody else that was kind of wobbly around their commitment to their to the ritual of the oath that they took for the cult, whatever the cult is, whether we want to call it Israel or BB or whoever it is, they got in fucking line, and everything changed from that moment with Trump, with all the people around him, everybody. The Epstein files got locked down. I mean, everything stopped right then because they were like, listen, we're taking this 31-year-old out. It could have been you. We could have killed you when we shot you in the air. We're letting you know right now, this is what's going on. And this is what is happening here. And whether you want to believe it or not, you think I'm just a wacko conspiracy theorist, that's fine. It's only my opinion. And this is what we've unpacked here and what we're unpacking here about this whole thing, because it's more than the fact that they tell you that he got shot from 144 yards by a 30-06 in the neck and he was bleeding in front. Now, anytime you can look at every shot every bullet into an animal, a person, an object, it goes in short and it comes out big. So tell me, with a little bit of common sense, how Charlie Kirk got shot here and the blood came out forward. Yeah. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Yep. That's why Ty is saying that he shot here and it came out here. And that's why they covered up that spot within 2 days. They had a crew there and they covered over the whole area and put a plaque for Charlie Kirk for his death 2 days after. It might have been the following weekend, but it was a couple days later. They had construction crews there tearing up that spot and repaving it. I'm just giving you the details. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm just giving you what the details are. You can take it any way you want. This is just my opinion. I should have played that. Excuse me. I should have played that clip of you and I. And I said, we'll probably get nuked for this. Remember that? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Because we're probably going to get nuked for this, but you know what? We're going to fucking do it anyway. We're going to tell the truth. We don't give a shit. Okay? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Stand by.
Okay? These people are, a lot of people think, oh, you got to go to school, you got to do this, you got to do that to attain this level of power. Charlie was a college dropout. Okay? I cannot be more clear about that. Charlie Kirk was a college dropout. Now, I'm not saying that to demean him, but he's somebody who didn't want to finish college. Meanwhile, his wife is becoming either she has a doctorate degree or she's about to obtain a doctorate degree in 2026. Some of my information tells me that it's her second doctorate degree that she's about to obtain. But she already has multiple degrees. And yet she's older with multiple degrees, attaining for more, getting her doctorates, and with a man who has no degree and a high school education, and less worldly influence as far as wisdom is concerned. Okay? Charlie Kirk was groomed. Erica Kirk was his handler. That's what was going on there. So in case you guys don't understand how Charlie ended up in this position, he ended up in this position because of that woman. That's why. This was an operation that was set out to control his movement. He had already got the wheels going. He had already got things moving, right? So they needed to have a way to take Charlie Kirk down, and they found that way. And now that Charlie Kirk is, that they've taken him down, they've completed the circle, okay? And in completing the circle, they're turning their back on Charlie, and they're being rude and disrespectful by even posting this like this, because they're basically saying that Charlie turned his back on you. These people are sick. They're sadistic.
That's from Turning Point, okay? That is wild. And this is not, none of this is AI. This is all legitimate. This dude's done this deep dive, and he's got, 50 different videos of all these different things about the whole thing about Charlie Kirk, and it's called 322. So you can look it up on YouTube if you want to do a deeper dive. But we're going to keep going here. We're going to pull away for just a second from this investigation, but we're going to keep going with Charlie Kirk. But this goes with it. So there's some things that people don't realize that's happened. Do you know how many millions of dollars they've made off of Charlie Kirk's death?
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, like $200 million or something crazy, astronomical amount. But before we do that, let's make sure it's the right one. Yeah, that's it.
The Charlie Kirk Show is now literally registered as a foreign agent, allegedly.
Okay, the Charlie Kirk Show was and still is run by a group called the Salem Podcast Network, leading us to the next bit of investigating, which is who runs the Salem Media Group. Early last year, it was announced that the Salem Media Group appointed a guy by the name of Brad Parscale as their chief strategy officer. But guess what else he is? A foreign agent. Shout out to Americans for Nonprofit Transparency.org for this great piece of investigative reporting. They have uncovered Salem Media Group and Brad Parscale's undisclosed foreign agent role. quote, according to DOJ FARA filing 7649, Brad Parscale owns and operates Clock Tower X LLC, a registered foreign agent for the government of Israel. Here is the official paperwork. Name of registrant, Clock Tower X LLC, registration number 7649. Name of foreign principal, State of Israel. Address 9 Yitzhak Rabin Boulevard, Jerusalem, Israel. Country represented, Israel. And executed by one Bradley Parscale, dated September 18th, 2025. Holy moly, could that be why they killed Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk, if we remember, was assassinated on September 10th, 2025, which is just 8 days prior to this FARA registration. Okay, this is very interesting and also very sus that Clock Tower X, which is Brad Parscale's firm, had a contract with the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs that was upped in December, which is 2 months after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and includes a delivery of monthly updated audience segmentation and sentiment analysis, including Gen Z and other U.S. demographic groups. And also as a part of that contract, Parscale's firm is also integrating pro-Israel messaging into the Salem Media Network 2 months after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So let me get this straight. 8 days after Charlie Kirk is assassinated, the people who run his show registers as a foreign agent and then starts to codify pro-Israeli programming into all their shows. How convenient.
Now, so remember, Charlie Kirk, Bibi Netanyahu came to Charlie Kirk and said that he was going to give his boost his operation, and give him $200 million. And he said no. And then they killed him. Okay.
You know who Parscales was with too?
Salem Media?
Yeah, but who he was he was part of Trump's team.
Uh-huh. What part of it?
He was something with media. He was a big part of the media in 2016's.
What's his name?
Brad Parscales.
How you spell it?
That I don't know, dude. But he was on the team.
Brad Parscales, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Let's see. Brad Parscales.
He was his media guy.
This is Wikipedia, but let's see what they say. Oh, yeah. American digital consultant, media executive, political advisor. He also served as senior advisor and data and digital operation for Donald Trump 2020. Yep. He previously served as digital director for Donald Trump at 16 campaign and the 2020 campaign. Yep. And the campaign for 18 to 20, replaced by Bill Steffen in 2020. Trump's organization in 2011. Oh, so Parcell began working for the Trump organization in 2011, developing and designing websites and creating and managing digital media strategy in early 2015. Trump hired Parscale and his firm, Gale Parscale, to create a website for his extraordinary campaign, exploratory campaign. Huh, interesting. See what we find out when we just look around a little bit. So, I mean, is it kind of coming together for you a little bit? I'm gonna we're gonna just keep going. So if you're paying attention, and this is so horrible, man. This is my stomach. I got a little stomach right now, because when you think about all the things that we've heard, that we've learned so far up to now with Trump's reaction, and Trump might not. I don't know, but Trump's reaction to them talking about Charlie Kirk's death was, the ballroom. And sometimes people deflect, pain. I really thought that Trump really respected and loved Charlie like a son and all that stuff. But it was just weird how he just was like, "Have you seen my ballroom?" You know what I mean? Remember that? Did you catch that? Oh yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. Now, this is the Joe Rogan talking about the exploding mic. Just covering it all. Covering all the bases.
Exactly. Okay, this is a dude named Mike France.
It wasn't James Lee reporting
Mike
it, but
Franco, excuse me.
This is the same stuff I've seen elsewhere.
Says October 10, 2025, exactly 1 month after Kirk's death, a catastrophic explosion destroyed Building 602 at the Accurate Energetic Systems facility in McEwen, Tennessee. The blast, estimated to involve 23,000 pounds of explosives, killed 16 employees, injured several others, and registered as a 1.6 magnitude seismic event. Yo. The U.S. Chemical Safety Board confirmed the site produced cast boosters and miniaturized shaped charges for military and industrial use. Conspiracy theorists allege that AES was the manufacturer of the miniature shaped charge used in Charlie Kirk's assassination. They point to a $425,000 Department of Defense contract awarded to AES in May of 2025 for extra small anti-personnel demolition charges, possibly used in covert operations. The timing of the explosion, just weeks after Charlie Kirk's death, has fueled speculation that it was a deliberate cover-up to destroy evidence and eliminate the personnel with knowledge of the technology. So there's the pager attacks, the Lebanon pager attacks. Here's my problem with that explanation, and I'm not saying that I'm right and they're wrong.
Yeah, it's just a
my
theory.
problem is I don't see that thing exploding.
Yeah.
So that microphone, I don't see it exploding. I don't see fire coming out of it. If you have a gun and the gun goes off 6 inches from someone's neck like that, you're going to see a charge out of the gun.
That's a great point.
And if it's a small device without a barrel, something has to propel that energy, and that's an explosion. And if it explodes, you're going to see it explode, unless they've developed some sort of way of hiding that.
Yeah.
Right. But what do we have here? We have exploding pagers. We have all these different things right now. I've leaned way away from the exploding mic, but the fact that, because maybe, just maybe, and it's covered in this, I don't know if I have it pulled in these clips, but maybe, just maybe, that was another switch for Charlie, because they did move fast and they did pull something and they put something in their pocket when they were doing all that, jumping over the table and getting him all that stuff. There was some movement and they were doing some things that were kind of awkward, like grabbing stuff. I mean, first they thought that they had grabbed something off the table, but Candace showed the whole shot from the back. Remember we showed, we played it like a couple weeks ago, where he jumped over. He didn't grab anything off the table, but they were palming stuff, putting stuff in their pocket for sure. It could have been the mic, and maybe the mic was supposed to go off and it didn't, because remember, he says 3 patsies, 2 distractions, or
2 shooters,
2 shooters and 2 distractions. Now, when we get back to it, now you kind of get a few things going on at the same time. Now you can kind of put this in perspective. It could have been that was an exploding mic of some sort, but it didn't go off because they had the guy that shot him in the chest. They had the guy that shot him from
the balcony,
way back there. And when we get to it, you're gonna go, "What the fuck?" And because we're gonna get to it, we're gonna run it a little bit late tonight. And I promise not to do this to you guys every time, but this is very important stuff. We have quite a bit left to go through. Let's get back to this. How do I want to say this? Did you know? That's what I want to say. Did you know?
These people are sick. They're sadistic. There's something wrong with them. And this is not a good graphic. And it says so much about what they think about Charlie Kirk as they continue to use his name, his branding, his channel. I've covered everything that the Honey Pot has done. everything, because she's making money with the Trump family, with the book, the Stop in the Name of God book. I call it the Stop God book. Look at the publishing that she's with. She's with the Trump family. They're making tens of millions of dollars off of Charlie Kirk's death, off of his assassination that they were a part of. All right, so I know I'm giving you a lot right now, but we're about to cook even further, okay? So these people have an esoteric belief system. Trump has been tied with them since the 70s. He's been loyal. He's been in bed with them for a very, very, very long time. The same thing is true with Epstein. He's been in bed with them for a very, very, very long time. That's why these guys were friends. They have the same handlers. They have the same people. What do I mean, the same handlers? Like, people think that it's a joke that these females end up in these powerful men's lives, okay? These females don't end up here by accident. You have people who are handlers, and then you have people who are kind of like the prize a little bit. You know, she's very empty vessel, and she's perfect for the role of what, you know, Israel needed Donald Trump to fulfill. They needed him to have the right kind of woman. So they made sure that he had the right kind of woman by his side, who's not going to tell, who's not going to challenge him, who's going to be happy with the privileged life, who's going to shut her mouth. And then there's the handler. The handler always makes sure that these men are doing what they're supposed to do, that they're in the loop, that they're on time, that they're making the meetings, that they're sharp, that they're ready. These women are not innocent. Ghislaine Maxwell needs to stay where she is, and she needs to be under the prison, in my personal belief. Okay? These people sit with the Rothschild family and all these other people.
Yeah, so let's keep it going here.
Like I said, I have recorded and documented every piece of this case. I have been meticulous about this. There is an overwhelming, they love to use that word, there was an overwhelming amount of evidence that the feds set this kid up as a patsy. Okay? Everyone in the town, all the local sheriff departments, the SWAT team, they believe that the feds came in and they started lying, and they were sending people on wild goose chase, and they said the gun was here and they said it was over there. There was no gun. They didn't want the bomb dogs to go into certain places. Like I said, I am not getting this information from people that do not have the credibility to assert that. That's how I got the pictures inside of the car. Okay, I am speaking to people with firsthand intimate knowledge, and they all believe that the feds set this up. So how are there people out there saying otherwise? Why wouldn't I testify for the defense? I want to find Charlie's real killer. I don't want to find some random kid that they're sticking this on. It's not Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson did not do this alone. I feel the opposite of how Erica Kirk felt sitting next to Barry Weiss. With everything I have collected, I feel the exact opposite as Charlie Kirk's wife. I feel almost certain that Tyler Robinson did not shoot. I would say I feel 99.9% certain that Tyler Robinson did not shoot Charlie Kirk from a rooftop by himself. How about that? I'm going to say 0.1% because I don't know. You just should never say 100% unless you're, Erica Kirk's lawyers. 100%, we'll get him. We'll get him. We're just going to go on vibes. No, you're going on corruption, not vibes. What she feels 100% certain about, confident about, is that there is a bunch of people who will lie for her. She's got a police force behind her. She's got 33 behind her. She's got the White House, Scott Bessent, that'll publish letters saying that they're so upstanding and so moral, right? That's what she feels 100% certain of, is that she's connected to the billionaire class of Epstein-type people who lie about everything. Me, I follow the facts, and Tyler Robinson did not do this. He's not a lone gunman on a rooftop, okay? So I challenge you. I challenge any person, like I've done over and over again. If you feel so 100% overwhelmed by the evidence that Tyler Robinson did this, please come sit in this studio and debate me. I need someone to debate on this, because the best you have is, well, Cash Patel said 33, and Governor Cox, who had nothing to do with the arrest or the, I should just say, they just apprehended him, of Tyler Robinson. He had nothing to do with it. He did a press conference. In fact, Sheriff Brooksby, who just resigned, actually tells the truth about how Tyler Robinson was turned in. Listen to the words he is saying. He is saying what I have told you. Basically, that this might.
Robinson, my dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me right now. I'm not answering. Now, this is the end of them having an official story that makes any sense. And I'll show you exactly why. Okay, so read that again. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me right now. I'm not answering. Okay, right there. You see that in plain English. This is the transcript of the supposed conversation between Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs that the feds gave to Newsweek. Okay. Well, unfortunately, okay, this is the photo that was released. Okay. This is not a Mauser. That's not what this is. Okay. Or it's not the type of Mauser that they claimed that it was, which is a bolt action. That one's a bolt action also, but the real model is this. It's like this one. Okay. So this is what an actual World War II Mauser looks like. But here's the thing. It was so old that it was untraceable. Now, they never released a picture of this rifle. They released a picture of this rifle, which looks like every other rando 30-06 on the market. There's like 5, 6, 7 kinds that look just like this. Okay. And so the feds released a photo of the rifle and it's very unique. Okay. Well, where's that picture? Because this is the exact picture that they would release. There's nothing unique about this at all. Nothing. And it's also not a World War II Mauser. Okay. So right there, pretty big problem for the official story.
Yeah, so I threw that in there because I wanted to remind everybody that they're talking about a 30-06 killed Charlie Kirk before we get into the Provo part. So you know that Provo and Israel are Epstein and Provo is kind of meshed together. They used to fly, and when I show you this, Provo is in the middle of fucking nowhere, and there's nothing around but the water and mountainsides and fucking flat land and a fucking building that looks like Egypt or looks like one of those buildings that with lines on it.
Yeah.
So check it out. So I just I'm just showing you some stuff because I'm very fascinated by this, and I did so much work on this early on that my brain started smoking. And then I'm serious because I was like, I did the same thing with Trump's shooting. Because
you didn't believe that guy did it?
I just couldn't fucking fathom that they killed that dude. First of all, he was walking around on the fucking ground with a rangefinder. I mean, just all the weirdo shit that happened. And they killed that Patsy, and he wasn't even the one that took shot. But that's another show for another time.
Washed his ass off the fucking roof.
Yeah. I mean, when does the FBI get a water hose on the roof and wash it down the next day? I mean, come on. There's a whole bunch of that. There's a whole bunch of that one too.
Yeah.
That which now, when you put all this together, and I hate to say this, man, but it's just I gotta just tell the truth. When you put all this together, it gives me a whole different picture of a bunch of stuff when you look at all these pieces that we're putting together right now. Stand by. Hold on. We got this.
Going on in Provo and why they feel so good about Provo.
Check this out. This is
guys and girls, this is Provo. Okay. This is when you drop down from Google and you look at it and you try to look around. You got water right here. I mean, right here. Okay. Oh, look at that. There you go. There's that. So you got water right here. You got the mountains out there. There's nothing around besides mountains, water, and this is Provo's Duncan Aviation right there. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see it from the roadway back here. Looking like a whole Egyptian setup back there. Okay. There's a reason for that. Now I'm going to show you that here in a second. So I want you guys to be able to see that so you can understand why they were picking Provo to go into St. Thomas down to Epstein's Island because of the very discreet nature of where this is located. You can fly celebrities in and out of here, basically whoever you want in and out of here, undetected, completely undetected. There's not a soul around. to be able to detect this, and you'd have to know when it's just a lot. So you're not going to do all of that, right? Let's get to the big meat and potatoes. So there's some things here that we have to uncover, and the rest of this is actually not going to be as long as you probably think it's going to be when you see all those tabs. It's going to be a lot shorter than that. So we are roughly about 116 in, a little bit past 116. If you want the part where the receipts actually start, that's right here at 116. Now,
Hold on. Aviation.
I was able to figure out that Duncan Aviation and Elbit actually have a contract together. What is the likelihood that Duncan Aviation, where the Egyptian planes were going, okay, let's go back to the Egyptian planes real quick, just real quick, and then go back to those Egyptian planes, just so you can see them, right? So
Yeah,
I
this
put one
was
of them
right.
in here just so you can see it. This is the Egyptian government right here. Provo, this is what Candace was talking about the whole time. Provo and Wilmington, right there, okay? Excuse me. You'll notice that this is a Dassault Falcon 7X. Remember that, right? Now there's two planes. So again, this is just one of them. And I, for the purposes of this video, I don't even need the other plane because we're not going to get into the specifics of each plane. That's not important, right? What's important is that you know that this is a part of the Egyptian government and that you know what make and model this is, a Dassault Falcon 7X, okay? Egypt, Dassault Falcon 7X, here it is right around that time before and after Charlie Kirk's assassination, all right? Now, if we know that Duncan Aviation has a contract with Elbit, the only platform capable of taking that drone shot on that day, the only platform capable of taking that with the bird of prey platform that they've used in Palestine. If we know that these two things are connected together, let's see if we can even connect them even further. Matter of fact, let me just show you this. I'm gonna give you one more, just smaller connection, but it's a big connection right here. Egyptian airplanes, okay, Duncan Aviation, and Elbit. So if I did, as a nation state, want to launch a drone off of an aircraft that the weapon never ever touched the ground, and I'm able to also simultaneously have 12 anonymous Israeli cell phones on the ground on 9/10. There is nothing preventing my team on the ground from making sure, especially my professional team on the ground, who are Israeli people who are probably directly from Elbit, because there is an Elbit in Provo, Utah. I'm sorry, there's an Elbit in Utah, not in Provo, Utah. It's up the street, just a little bit up the street, but it's in Utah. So Elbit already works in Utah, and I've actually been where they work, not in the area where they work, but in the city, Ogden. I was out there a couple of years ago for some business. So this area of this whole area, Utah, in this area, in the Salt Lake City area, if you know, you know, it is a very, very big intelligence hub. There's a lot of stuff that happens under the ground, okay? A lot, more than I care to discuss in this video. But with that being said, if we know that, and we know that they're flying out here and they're having these these private meetings that they can have in Provo without ever being detected, okay? Is it possible, and is it crazy to assume that they could also simultaneously use planes to actually launch the drones from? Because that is the capability of Elbit. Let's read it. Launched effects systems act as force multipliers, enabling manned aircraft to deploy unmanned assets that perform collaborative engagements to neutralize high-value targets. I know I messed that word up. Hardly messed it up, but Let's go over it again. Enabling manned aircraft, meaning a Dassault Falcon, that aircraft, to deploy unmanned assets that perform collaborative engagements to neutralize high-value targets. When they say collaborative, do they mean with the team already on the ground to engage with them right away? Is that what they mean? Because that's what I think that they mean. Why would I think that they mean that? Because their own propaganda tells us that. This is what the bird of prey swarm is, the front guard mission. They do collaborative missions with the soldiers that are on the ground. That's what this is all about. So when I tell you Elbit has the only system that had the capabilities to actually take Charlie out and you would never see the shot coming, and they could get the gun out of there without you ever seeing it. That's exactly what I mean. This was a very well thought out, high level operation that ensured that you stayed blind to these facts that I'm telling you, so that you're constantly searching and searching and searching. Nobody would ever think it was 2 shots. Who would ever think something that crazy? Because it sounds crazy, but it's absolutely not crazy. So I digress. Let's move forward. Let's show how Duncan, and I'm going to show how critical this piece of information is. Okay? Watch this, guys. I want you to read this with me. Duncan Aviation has entered into a licensing agreement with Elbit Systems of America, LLC, to provide service and support for Intercontinental Dynamics Corporation products. The products were initially produced by IDC and later by Colesman Incorporated, a wholly owned subsidiary of Elbit Systems of America. I need my independent journalist to look into that. Elbit Systems of America, a subsidiary of Elbit Systems, previously authorized only 2 locations in North America as factory certified repair centers. Duncan Aviation is pleased to announce that the company has been selected as the only non-Elbit Systems of America company to hold that authorization. Pause everything. Duncan Aviation, out of all the aviation companies in America, is the only non-Elbit Systems of America company to hold that authorization. This is how intimate the connection between Duncan Aviation and Elbit Systems of America is. This is how much they respect each other. When I read that, I almost fell out of my chair because I couldn't believe that this connection was right here in broad daylight, that the IDF, okay, who owns Elbit, basically, it's the same thing. They're the tech branch of the IDF. The IDF that owns Elbit, basically, literally had connections right here with an airport right here in America. And then that airport, let's move it forward a little bit. And then that airport would actually have connections. Let's move forward. Let me show you real quick. You're not going to believe this, guys. I'm trying to told you. I'm trying to told you. Duncan Aviation can now install Starlink SATCOM systems. Starlink SATCOM systems. Now, not just any Starlink SATCOM systems. Of course, we know who's Starlink we're talking about. For guys and girls that do not know what Starlink is, see that guy right here in the background behind Epstein, Elon Musk? Yeah, that's his company. Starlink is his internet-based company, global internet through satellites. Okay? So now I'm realizing that Duncan Aviation can now install Starlink SATCOM systems. Well, that's interesting because the communications that happened on that day, if they went through Starlink, then they wouldn't be happening on a normal grid. And if they're not happening on a normal grid, that's going to make them a lot harder to trace. So I'm just asking a question, Elon. If Duncan Aviation is in charge of installing Starlink SATCOM systems on these planes that comes in, into their airport, if they're in charge of that, right? Can we see the data from 910 for this location? Is it possible? I mean, I don't want to take anybody's personal data, but what I would like to see is if we have any data that's coming from a foreign actor that is in the Starlink system from 910. If Elon can give us that, since we now know that Starlink has authorized Duncan Aviation to install this in the airplanes. Now, you say, well, you don't know if it was installed in that Egyptian airplane or not. You're absolutely right. But do you remember when I told you to remember exactly what model that airplane was? Remember when I told you that? Let's go back and look at it one more time, because you may have forgot. A Dassault Falcon F7 from the Egyptian government. Okay? What does Starlink say on their website? Is that a Falcon F7? 7X, I'm sorry. Is that a Falcon aircraft from Dassault Aviation? Yes. It's right there. A Dassault Falcon 7X. Dassault Aviation Falcon 7X. This is what we get when we read, guys. This is what we get. We find out what the truth is. So now we know on 9/10 that very likely Duncan Aviation was hosting these Egyptian airplanes, and they had Elon Musk Starlink installed on the Egyptian aircraft. Why is that important? Because what did Bibi Netanyahu say about Elon? What did he say about him? You remember that? Just like he's holding Biden right here. During a press conference, he said the same thing about Elon. He said, Elon is a friend. We have to talk to Elon. He's a friend. Just like all these other big tech guys are friends of the Israeli government.
Is it kind of coming together for you? What do you get right there? Let's pause for a second and tell me what you get.
That's nuts, dude. I don't believe in coincidences, and that's too much happening.
Yeah. A lot of things coincide with each other.
Yeah, that wouldn't normally in the real world.
Right.
The real world doesn't line up like that.
Yeah.
So
there's one company that has access to
only unauthorized
to fly unmanned drones with machine guns on them
that can fucking take out of a fucking manned airplane that can go. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. Let's show you the shot.
Hi, Charlie. This is the guy's arm that we saw in the video, and this guy, I think he's moving off of an audio signal. They all have their microphones on, or they'll have their earpieces on, so they can hear well. And everybody started moving at the same time. This guy put out the signal, I believe, for the BA sniper, so that he can see. I'm about to show you how he positions his body to move it so that the BA sniper can actually see him. He puts himself in the sunlight and he takes a little bit of a step back as he gives the signal to take the shot. Simultaneously, this guy right here hears it come over the microphone, and he turns and he takes his shot with the recoil that comes from his hand from his palm pistol.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Oh, that really looked like at that time. There's probably 2 or 3 people in the crowd that have a gun.
Hang on.
Oh!
And then they say that you could see. So it looks like he's pretending to pull up his sleeve and he has a palm gun. That's what it looks like. And there's the bullet.
And again, his shot hit second, though. And I'm going to show you exactly where it hit. Matter of fact, let me show you where it hit first. So, I'm not joking with you. Okay. There it is. It was right there the whole time. after the first shot hit him and expanded his neck and put this what looked like it looked like his microphone blew up. Now you guys can see clearly the microphone did not blow up. It's still there. These are little magnets that slide off real easy. Anybody saying that this blew up, that it did not blow up. I don't know if it was set to blow up. That could be another theory, a possibility. Maybe it was a detonated device that just didn't go off in there. I don't know. But I know that it did not cause a discharge that went through Charlie's body or anything like that. So he was not shot with a camera phone from behind. That's not what took him out. He was not blown up by this device right here. That's not what took him out either. But what we all missed was right there in the middle of the screen. When Charlie's shirt was puffed out from getting hit in the back of the head from that first round. Now, mind you, you cannot fake the infrared beam. You can't fake the flash in the window. You can't fake the bullet coming at the same exact trajectory that the infrared beam was on. You cannot fake any of that stuff. If you have a bullet, if you have a gun muzzle flash in the window, and if you have an infrared beam, trust me, the gun is somewhere in that direction, period. If you have a bullet, if you have a muzzle flash reflection, if you have an infrared beam, the gun is in the direction of all of that stuff. And the first thing that you follow is the infrared beam. And that's why I was able to figure out the BA position on the BA building for the sniper. Thank you again, Stephen Ben-Noon. But this guy hits him right here in the front. Now, let me show you guys what that actually looks like so you guys can understand how this ended up, being Charlie's fate, how he got hit twice by these people. And nobody is showing this. This is the first time that this graphic has been shown. It's on We Are Not Going to Mars. That's my channel. This is what I was able to find because people were wondering how this area of the t-shirt went up. I'm going to show you how. All right, guys, let me go ahead and show you real quick, exactly frame by frame. Now that you guys understand where the BA sniper is, now that you also understand where the palm shooter is, let me go ahead and show you guys what it looks like frame by frame, so you know how the sniper shot hit first, and you'll understand how the shirt poofed out at the top. As the shirt was poofed out, as it was poofed out, he got hit from here, from about the left-hand side, right near the heart area. That's why I said Charlie Kirk had no chance. He passed away instantly. I'm sure he didn't even feel anything. He was eviscerated from the inside, and then he got basically hit in his heart. I know that's horrible sounding, and it is tragic. It's terrible. But this is what they did to him. This is what they did, and then they blamed it on political stuff and all this. And this is so far beyond politics that this is just evil. So when his shirt was poofed out, mind you, his shirt is poofed out. As his shirt's poofed out, the second shot comes in and hits. Boom. And when it does, it hits. It sends that ripple of it being poofed out up like this, creating a temporary indentation in the middle of the shirt and raising it from where it was poofed out. That's exactly what happened, guys. Watch. Okay? Just pay attention and watch. Oh, pause that. Listen.
Almost see like.
Hold on. Turn it off. Sorry. He's going to pick up the microphone unless he's putting it down right here. Watch the shirt puff up. Right there, he's hit. Right here, Charlie Kirk is hit. Okay? This is the shot from the sniper. Let me get again, I'm on a cell phone, guys, so just work with me. That's the shot from the sniper. Right there. Nothing blew up. You can see his thing is still in place. His earpiece is flown out at this point in time frame. Is flying out. Some people thought it was maybe some splatter coming out of the back of his head. Could be that too, but it's also the earpiece as well. I'll just say that. But the shot came in, and look at his neck expansion. The neck completely expands, and I don't want to get too graphic here, but I want you guys to see how this part of the neck right here is pushed up into the left, as all of this is right here is kind of blown out, if you will, from the expansion of the bullet dropping down into right here. Okay, now pay attention to it. Again, I don't want it to be too graphic, but we took out the actual, from where the bullet came out, we took that part out. So here, again, the bullet hits right there. Okay. Now, at this very second, this next second, this is why it was all on cue and for the shots to go off at the same time so that all the shots ended up sounding like one. That is the second that he got hit with the second shot. Boom. Look at that. Center mass, guys. Right there, as clear as day. just like the graphic I showed you. Just so you know, I'm not like altering anything or anything like that. I'm just showing you what's actually there in front of your faces. Like they want to play us, but they don't understand. Some of us will take the time to go through this stuff frame by frame.
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think so far? Crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. We'll get you some coffee.
It's nuts, dude.
Yeah, so the weird thing about all that is nobody has seen that. The exploding mic, they have all these different theories. They have a palm gun, they got
Well, what he said also, to slow it down. Some people are just frame by frame by frame by frame by frame. Yeah, I mean, dude, when I saw that, I was just like, I remember seeing it. Somebody was just, look what happened.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, dude, I didn't need to see that. I didn't need to see a man's life being taken, right? Hell no. Yeah.
I don't think let me play this one, and then I got a couple more for this, and then I'm gonna play the full shot clip.
Yeah.
But hold on.
Duncan Aviation has entered into a licensing agreement with Elbit Systems.
Sorry.
Here we go. Watch the shirt. Here it is. See that? That little bumping of the shirt? Right there. Right there. He's already hit. But you see the two little dots or the dot that's actually showing up on the screen, skipping off the screen? But he's already hitting the collarbone. Look at it pop out right there.
Look at cell phone.
And then he's hit twice.
That's infrared
Boom.
light.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry. He's hit right here from behind, and this one goes down and through his neck. And look at his neck bulge forward. You can see the bulging forward as he slumps slightly to the left. And as he's doing that, he's then hit by this guy right here. This guy hits him from the front. So how do I know it happened just like this? Excuse me, guys. I apologize for coughing in the mic like that. How do I know that it happened just like this? Okay. Let me pull up another video for you guys so you can see something. I put together a little video just to kind of show. I did a little graphic too, just to kind of show you right here.
Hold on. All right, let me pull you back up on the screen here. Let's see. All right, so this is the 10-minute clip. Now, I'm glad that I waited because this is why. Originally, he thought that it was a sniper between the buildings on the roof. Remember we talked about that? And then after he went back and started, because what you do is you just keep looking. You keep looking and looking and looking. And there was talk about drones, that Charlie Kirk's crew didn't have drones, but there was drones found. There was video of like 3 drones in the air, at least 2 drones in the air during the time of the shooting. I don't know if you caught that, but like crowdsource showed it. A few different people showed it, and nobody put it together. They thought, because you don't think that a drone could shoot, but you've seen in that cell phone how you've seen the infrared light. It's white because it's not hitting a cell phone, but that's infrared light coming, and it's when you're, my understanding, and I'm not an expert, but when you're shooting from it's like computerized. So the infrared light is what
it's like radar, man.
It's like radar, tracks it and then it shoots, right? Yeah. So this clip is long, but we're gonna roll it. It's 10 minutes, but it's designed as partially as a cartoon because they're trying to show a theory of like how it connects to the stuff that happened with Israel October 7th. It's all connected, right? Remember this is what I was telling everybody early. All of this is connected. It's all one big pot of bullshit. It all goes together. And what they did in Israel, or I don't know who had the drones or whatever, but there was drones during the Hamas. What's the other one? Hezbollah. That whole thing that went on over there. They were shooting people with drones and paratroopers, but there was drones killing people, and they're going to show it. It's in this clip. So bear with us. I hope I haven't bored you too much, but hey, this is breaking right here. This is stuff that nobody's talking about. That it kind of went away, and then
it's gone away.
And
that's what's so crazy.
And I promised everybody that I was not going to let it go. Just like Epstein files. As soon as we get done with this deep dive, when we get all the way to the other side and everybody understands what we found out about it, then what we'll start doing is we'll start doing Epstein. We'll start getting into the Epstein documents, and we'll get deep into them, and we'll show you who they are and what they are and what it is. And it's very, very hard to do, but you have to. You just, for someone like me, my brain doesn't work with not knowing. I can't. It's like it's like anything. If it's just, my wife says it's just my autistic brain. You mean I have to know. I have to follow it all the way through. And maybe that's a good trait. Maybe it's not. Anyway, stand by.
Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for being here. Listen, I'm going to prove to you once and for all that Charlie Kirk was shot twice. I couldn't get you this photo in the Charlie Kirk Operation 322 series because I didn't have it. So this photo is from Candace Owens, and it's showing the back of Charlie Kirk. I've used negative lighting, and I've also used an enhancement of the red so that we can get a clear idea of what we're looking at here.
C2.
A lot of folks thought that Charlie was actually blown up by a Rode microphone, or maybe electrocuted, or something else, shot with a mini drone. But what really happened is this was a military operation, and we could see the infrared beam in this military operation, and that's exactly how they ended up getting caught. They were sloppy. They messed up.
You can see the bullet in flight.
That's the claim. A single frame that captures the projectile traveling along the exact path that was established by the infrared beam just a fraction of a second before impact.
To capture a high-velocity rifle round in a single video frame,
That's
almost unbelievable.
It's an incredible technical feat, if true. And the source asserts that the trajectory seen.
This was the exact trajectory, the exact angle that Charlie was shot from the drone that actually killed him, the bird of prey drone. And you'll see more of this in Charlie Kirk Operation 322, but you have to go check out my series.
That temporary wound cavity happens so fast, you barely see it at all. And that's why it's been so hard for people to figure out what's causing his shirt to flip up. It's very clear to me it is that temporary wound cavity. So here you can see it slowed down. Again, in real time, you don't see that temporary wound cavity, how big it gets, how much it would balloon out somebody's neck, for instance. But when you slow it down to 5,000 frames per second, you can see every bit of that.
Oh, you're gone, bro.
That temporary wound cavity happens so fast, you barely see it at all. 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 This is proof, guys. What other proof do you need that Charlie Kirk was shot in the back of his head?
Look, this is all at 18 seconds. Pay attention. Boom, Charlie's hit. Boom. Charlie is hit twice. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Do I have to do anything else to show you that he was shot twice?
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Oh, that really looked like at that time. There's probably 2 or 3 people in the crowd that have a gun.
Hang on.
Oh,
And then they say that you could see. So it looks like he's pretending to pull up his sleeve and he has a palm gun. That's what it looks like. And there's the bullet.
This is your assassin right here, guys. Right here. It's unbelievable that people can watch this and say, no, you're just delusional. Or, no, you snorted cocaine. Or, you're just stupid. Like, you can't see what I'm seeing. That is a palm gun. You may not know what a palm gun is, but that is a palm gun. Look it up. That is a palm gun. You can see him squeeze it. You can see the recoil. Boom! And Charlie Kirk is dead. That is a palm gun. Boom! Charlie Kirk is dead.
It's all right there. If you want to see it, you'll see it. If you don't want to see it, you won't see it. I'm showing it to you. I'm showing you both impacts. But what do you see? Do you see an electrocution happening? Or do you see impacts that are happening to a body? I see impacts that are happening to a body. Could there have been something to blow up and an electrocution and all this and that? Sure, all that could have happened too. But it did not happen until after all of this stuff happened. Okay? Look at that. His body is impacted right there while he's still holding the microphone in a downward position. Keynote right there. He's holding the microphone down still. He's still holding the microphone down. Now his body is done absorbing the energy and finally reacting well after the shots had already hit. The shots had hit and did their damage. And Charlie's body was still in the same position until after both shots landed. It wasn't until his shirt started settling down that his arms even started lifting at all. This is how quick this operation was, how effective it was. It was a horrible thing to see, but when you break it down like this, it makes it even worse. But it also dispels all these rumors that he was electrocuted, that he was blown up. It was all, no, he was just shot twice. Was there more things that were planned for him? I'm sure that there were. But these 2 things right here were guaranteed. Guaranteed. 1, 2. 1, 2. It's that simple. You want to see it closer? All right. No problem. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. You want to see it closer? No problem. It's right there. Do I have to do anything else to show you that he was shot twice? If I do, head on over to Charlie Kirk Operation 322. At least watch part 4. So that's it. Follow me on X. We are not GTM. It means we are not going to Mars. Thanks for watching. He puts himself in the sunlight and he takes a little bit of a step back as he gives the signal to take the shot. Simultaneously, this guy right here hears it come over the microphone and he turns and he takes his shot with the recoil that comes from his hand from his palm pistol.
I don't approve that he's condoning someone who's above the 10.
You guys okay?
Well, I hope that I did a good job with that. There's so many things that gets thrown at us in a course of this, like and once you get past the propaganda part, I mean, because there's so much haze in this, it's hard to get, it's hard to get the truth because they're constantly putting propaganda on us around everything. That's why I'm like, could Trump just be duped and it really isn't Trump and Trump is really good, but everybody around him is bad and it's causing him to sway what he believes because he is, in the middle of all these globalists that are controlling him, or is he one? You know what I mean? And because you hear the theories, the different theories, like, oh, that the whole Trump shooting was staged. And you hear all that stuff. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know if it's possible to nick somebody on the ear. You know what I mean?
I think that got him in line. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And then if you're so defiant, you try to have another dude do it, and they're like, "No, dude, we're serious. This is some real shit. You're about ready
Well,
to."
so after Charlie Kirk, when you look at the whole thing, after Charlie Kirk's death, things changed a lot.
Oh yeah,
things really changed a lot.
Look
And
at it now.
Elon
It's
Musk
fucking
was
ridiculous.
the first thing that was like the catalyst that started it. When Elon Musk left, and it was like, you're in the Epstein file, did that, and then right after, because I think it was right after that. I don't know the timeline for sure. When I don't know, when did Elon Musk get kicked out of the White House?
That was, I don't know, July, maybe close to summertime. Only reason I know it was summertime or because of the season that I was working. You know what I mean?
Elon Musk began offboarding from his role as special government employee and advisor for Donald Trump administration on May 28th.
Summertime.
His departure followed after that, May 30th.
Yep.
Pretty good. Pretty close.
Yeah.
May.
Because that's
June,
when our,
July,
yeah.
August, September, so about 4 months.
Yeah.
And then they killed Charlie Kirk. And I think Charlie Kirk, my observation and my what's it called? What would be the legal term? Because you gotta be careful, get sued. Observation or theory or
allegedly
or whatever however you say that with so you can't be It's just so
Yeah.
crazy. It's so fucking crazy. Anyway, the point is, I believe now, after seeing doing this research, Charlie Kirk was sacrificed, and because if you and I haven't got into it a lot, and I think I will now. Now that after this whole piece, because there's like 3-4 weeks of investigating to get to this point, just to get to the real shot, what really happened. You mean, because I believe allegedly I believe that this, just like we just showed, is how it happened. Erica Kirk. If Erica Kirk was the handler, that means that TPUSA and everything that's going on at TPUSA is all part of Mossad, Israel, and that whole cabal.
Well, I believe that, for the simple fact that he was pulling away. He's pulling away from the following Israel, as riding their jock. You know what I mean? And
one of the other things, sorry, I was away from Mike. One of the other things, and we got to wrap this up pretty soon, but one of the other things that I've seen allegedly is that how Erica Kirk met Charlie, and is it Tyler Boyer, or is it which one is it? Which one's in charge of Charlie Kirk show? Is it Tyler Boyer? Who's in charge of
that? I don't know, dude. I never really, I knew of Charlie Kirk. I never really watched his show.
Me either.
I'm sorry it happened to the man. Nobody deserves to die like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's terrible, dude. I mean, like I said, I believe that him pulling away from the Israel group, you know what I mean, backing all their stuff that goes on, had a lot to do with this. Absolutely. Like I said, there's just too many coincidences that lined up perfectly. Nothing lines up that perfectly in the real world.
Oh, wow.
Where'd you find?
Charlie Kirk Show podcast, live show, longtime executive producer Andrew Colbert and the Turning Point USA team continues to produce the program, radio broadcast for the radio portion of the show on the Salem Radio Network, broadcasting Alex Marlowe and Scott Jennings were selected as the new replacement host starting in early 2026. Is that the same Scott Jennings that's CNN?
I don't know.
Political support.
It's crazy that just that Salem is
We'll get back to
pro-Israel.
This. We're gonna wrap this up. Thank you for being here. God bless you all. If you have any tips, please send them to john@inspectorweb.com. We're gonna start a tips line for people to send tips, but you can do it at JOHN inspectorweb.com. Appreciate your support. God bless you all. Please be safe out there, and we'll see you tomorrow night.